Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome back. Welcome back to Stock Markets with Bruce, where we are live. Uh, December the 27th is the day. Today's date. Friday will be the
Live.
31st. We'll go right till Friday this week and see how it goes. Hope you had a good Christmas and hope you had a few good days off. Hope you stayed healthy. This virus is it's spread. Even my daughter has it. My daughter and her boyfriend and his boy, they caught it. Started with the child, and then and the two adults thereafter, and they're isolating now in the house, and they're not feeling bad. They know they have it. They have all the symptoms. All three tested on the Friday, and my daughter and her boyfriend came back negative, but the son came back positive, and he was already showing some symptoms. And the next day, dad showed symptoms, and the next day, our daughter showed symptoms. So no question about it. They all three now know they have it, and so they're just staying in the house, and they got plenty of food, plenty of liquids. They're all set, and they're just self isolating, and they'll get through it. Feels like a cold because they've all been inoculated. The symptoms are weak, and they're grateful for that. And that's it. That's the deal. And it just goes to show what I had been suspecting all along, and what I have been mentioning from time to time. That as time goes by, all of you out there are going to know someone who has it, who had it, who's got it, who's going to that kind of thing. And it's getting closer and closer to us. We're finding it within, you know, spheres of influence we have. How about that? Coworkers, friends, relatives, you name it. It's beginning to work its way around, and I mean the numbers are staggering now. Cruise ships are reporting case upon case upon case. 55 on the Odyssey of the Seas, 52 on the Symphony of the Seas, into the 20s and 30s on a Carnival ship. Holland America ships have it. Princess ships, they have it on Prince. All the cruise lines have got COVID cases active on crew, passengers, and now the Caribbean islands, these island nations, one by one, are falling into line and denying cruise lines access to their shores. Just read this morning that the Cayman Islands was supposed to have their first ship visit yesterday or today in almost 2 years, and at the last minute they denied. It was Holland America. They denied Holland America visitation rights with only 1,600 passengers out of a possible 2,800 passengers on the ship. Even with only that, they denied entry because the island has now had an increase in the variants itself. And the Cayman Islands government is saying, hey, we have 65,000 people living on this island. We have one main hospital, one main hospital. We have clinics all over the place, but we have one main hospital. And we cannot handle the thought of having 1,600 people potentially coming onto our shores. And if only 5 of those folks are infected unknowingly and they spread the virus around, when they leave a week from now, we may have 15 to 20 new cases from the ship. And if we bring in one ship a day on an ongoing basis, we're talking about 10 to 15 new cases a day showing up on our island a week from now. And we don't have capacity for 500 people in hospitals, 200 people in hospitals. We have a small center here. And so they're just kind of going, we can't take the risk. We would be overrun, because on the island, it could happen that they could have 1,000 people infected within a month. And they, of course, will infect others. I mean, it would just go ridiculous, parabolic. And so the island just throwing their hands up in the air going, we can't do it. No, we're not going to do it. And this is happening here, now happening in other Caribbean landing sites that the cruise lines would dearly love to go to. Saint Martin is being overrun. Saint Thomas is having issues. The U.S. Other islands. It just goes on and on and on. And now I hear even Mexico. It was Cabo and Puerto Vallarta. They're denying cruise ships entry. And if you're going on a cruise from Los Angeles or Long Beach or San Diego, you're heading south to Mexico. You're going to Cabo or Mazatlan or Puerto Vallarta, maybe Acapulco if you go way south. If you can't get into any of those ports, you might just dock at Ensenada for like 6 hours and just tie your ship up and not let anybody off the ship and then get out. You at least have visited a foreign country under the U.S. Act. Cruise lines can still at least conduct business and be allowed to leave LA, come back to LA, say in that 7-day time frame. For the passengers, it means that you paid for a cruise with 3 stops, and you prepaid for all kinds of onshore activities at these 3 stops, perhaps. They're all canceled. They're all wiped out. You'll get your refunds for this stuff, but you're now shipbound. You're going to stay on ship for 7 full days and not touch land until you get back to LA. And then when you get back to LA, you're going to be tested, the night before you get off the ship or the morning of. And if you test positive, well, you're looking at a possible 10-day quarantine. I have no idea where, how, and how much. And forget your flight home. Forget about going anywhere. This is proving to become a real problem for the cruise lines because passengers are now realizing, oh my God, we could be, marooned in Florida when we come back from a Caribbean cruise. We could be marooned in LA or San Diego with all of our flights and connections blown out of the window, and we may or may not get a refund. We may or may not be able to rebook our flights. The logistics are just a nightmare. And for those folks who have squeezed a 1-week getaway, for husband, wife, and kids, this is a nightmare, especially if the kids are going to school or college or whatever the arrangements. Then families who are, taking these cruises, you have 15 family members getting together, and they're coming. They've merged all to LA to get on the ship, and then they were all to scatter back out, and they're all held up. It's a problem. So cruise lines are having that issue. Obviously, it's the same thing if you're taking a 1-week all-inclusive or a 2-week all-inclusive to the Caribbean, say Mexico, or to anywhere else. You run the same risk. I mean, you're getting tested before you get on the flight to come back to North America, and you're hoping that you test negative at the resort the night before you leave the resort. Because if you're testing positive, how do you get out? You're not getting out of that resort. I mean, and then the question is, does the resort have room for you under a COVID protocol? And what's it going to cost you? Because this isn't included unless you have insurance. And I don't know insurance exists. And I don't know if it's affordable, if there's an insurance that's affordable that people can afford to cover this. Because it might be $2,000 a person per week, emergency COVID accommodation. And if the resort can't handle you because they don't have wings of the resort where you can be isolated, you might end up in I don't know where you're going to. I'm just thinking of the nightmare scenarios. I don't even want to go there. I just don't want to go there. Anyway, you're not getting on the plane. Let's put it that way. You're testing positive. You can't get your foot on the airplane. And traveling with husband and wife, and the wife is positive and the husband is negative. What are you going to do? Mom and the couple going to stay together. One going to get on the plane, not the other one. I mean, boyfriend, girlfriend, relationships on the line. I don't know. Third world. You're in a third world scenario. You're in Barbados, Jamaica, Dominican Republic. You're in, wherever you are at an all inclusive, and you can't get on an airplane to get off. You need accommodation now, and you need COVID, approved COVID isolation accommodation. Oh man. I can't. I couldn't even want to. I don't want to think about it. I just think of the nightmares, the absolute horror stories that must be happening as we speak right now. Because this COVID, virus is spreading, so fast and so easily between people who don't know they have it. And again, there are people trying to get on airplanes that can't, who don't know they apparently they're ill. They have a virus. They had no idea they have it. They don't they don't have a fever. They don't have a cough. Nothing. No sore throat. Nothing. They're fine. Oh, you have it. You're positive. Whoops. Yeah. Now the wallet's going to take the hit. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, welcome to another day in paradise. Here we are, Monday morning, looking at the Dow up 65 points in the pre-market. S&P is up 15 and a quarter, and NASDAQ looks like it's up 73. So NASDAQ is the big winner right now, up 0.45 of a percentage point. S&P up 0.3, and the Dow is up just about a fifth of a point. Oil off 67 cents a barrel to 73.12. And we're hearing conflicting news, economic news coming out all over the place. We're hearing that retail sales compared to a year ago are higher, in-person retail sales, like actual people buying stuff. Well, that makes sense actually to me, because a year ago we were still in many areas of North America and Europe, many cities and many shopping malls were still shut down even a year ago. And there were certainly restrictions, and there was certainly a lot of reluctance of people to go out to retail establishments a year ago. It was unprecedented. So we have these reports saying, "Oh, our sales are up 8.5%. Yay!" That sounds great, and that is a good thing. It's always a good thing to have that happen, but to keep it in context. And to keep the inflation number in context, if you adjusted for inflation back to 2019 or 19 and 18, when we were without the virus, you may or may not be ahead of the curve at all. But again, that's also not surprising. I mean, why should it be that the numbers we just had for retail should be all-time greatest of all time? Why should that be? We have uncertainty. We also have, by the way, I hate to keep bringing this up, but there's almost 1 million Americans that you don't need to buy presents for, compared to 2 years ago. They're not here anymore, and some of these folks got presents from 20 different people, and you multiply, how many we've lost unnecessarily by how many presents they would have theoretically been receiving and buying themselves, that they would have purchased for friends and family. Billions of dollars. I mean, we're talking dollars, lives and dollars. It's a lot of money. And so you figure this out. I mean, I hate to be the downer on it, but there are insurance people out there who are, I forget the word you're looking for, Bruce. Not adjusters, but maybe they are assurance adjusters. There are people who statisticians, whose job it is to analyze, analysts, to financially analyze everything. And I bet you there are analysts out there who are quietly saying, "Well, here's a statistic we know that we've uncovered, but we're not going to brag about it. We're not going to promote it." And the statistic is how many people have died. How many people no longer are buying cars? How many of those people are no longer buying Christmas presents? How many of those people are not buying, are not renting cable, not using internet? I mean, the economic impact of losing this many people. Now, a number of them were elderly in senior centers, and the economic impact, other than the senior center revenue that they were receiving, is minimal. But then there were very active people who are no longer with us. People in their 30s, 40s, 50s, who were, still working, head of the family, whatever. Husbands, wives, kids, students. The cost to the economy, present day and going forward 5 and 10 years, trillions of dollars. I mean, you're talking almost 1 million people that aren't here anymore. We're approaching 1 million deaths. You start figuring this out, and it's a scary amount of money. And what can I tell you? it is a real sad story. Anyway, it's reality. And cruise lines. The studies have always said that cruise lines cater to folks older rather than younger, right? Despite the Royal Caribbean advertising campaigns over the years where they show people surfing on the wave runner and going up rope ladders and climbing rock walls and all that, the reality of cruise ship experiences are cruise ship holidays are relaxing. They're supposed to be, they usually cater to kind of my age, 50 and older. 60 and older, yes. Certain lines, average age is 65 to 70. The average age on the ship is closer to 70. And these folks are paying top dollar for 5-star everything. They want the best of the best. They can afford it. They have the money. Well, a lot of those people aren't here anymore. They're gone. They didn't get the last 10 glory years of their life, the last 15 years of really comfortable retirement. They perished because of this thing. Either before there was a virus, before there was a vaccine, during the vaccine rollout, despite the vaccine rollout, anti-vaxxers who were well-to-do, they're out there, and they've left us, and they've left behind grieving families, but they also now weren't, lavishly spending on these perks of a lifetime of work. I mean, these folks earned it somehow. They may have inherited it, and maybe haven't, but there are, a lot of folks out there who worked 30, 40, 50 years of their lives, and we're now going to enjoy those golden years and really, we're going to travel now. The wife and I are traveling. We're going. All shut the hell. And so the numbers can be scary. Anyway, the markets are higher right now. I read other interesting stuff this week. Since this is a rambling rant, because it's going to be a slow week this week. Half the folks are working, half folks are not. Reading all kinds of neat stuff over the weekend about different numbers and different trends and things that are happening. And that the job market is fascinating. And I mentioned this already about how most of the folks who are not coming back to work, who could come back to work if they wanted to, they're more than welcome to come back, now more than ever, are about 50 to 55-year-olds, somewhere in that 50 to 55 range, and older. So it might be 52, might be 51 and a half, might be 52 and 3/4, but somewhere in that between 50 and 55 range and older. Those aged folks are the most likely folks that are not coming back to work. Why? Because they have had a positive economic development in their lives that will allow them to take a hike. They haven't worked now for 2 years, or haven't been in the office, let's say, for 2 years. They've been working from home for the last 2 years, and they've been going, you know what? Gotta tell you, man, been sitting in this 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom house in the burbs that we bought 25 years ago when the kids were growing up. Kids are gone. They're all married off and doing their thing, and Mom and I are in this house that we thought we'd carry until we were 55 to 60. We'd carry this house. We've almost paid it off, or have paid it off, and we're just working for our retirement futures. That's all we're doing. We know that if we keep working now, we're just adding on to the retirement pot to give ourselves a better lifestyle. But what's happened here is not only the last 2 years have we worked, but we've worked from home, which has really been a real godsend for us. And the home we're sitting in, this little old house, which isn't that little, we are being asked by realtors, hey, would you consider selling this house? Because realtors are saying we have families, moms and dads both working, who are now working from home, never did that before either, who are 25 years younger than you guys. These are 35 and 40-year-olds. These are 30, 35, 40-year-olds. They're making serious money because white-collar, educated folks that can work from home can make some good coin. They're in serious demand. they can afford a mortgage that can carry an $800,000 house or a $1 million house. They have a house or a condo in downtown. They're selling it, and they're going to walk out with 250,000 cash, and they're looking to buy the home in the burbs or beyond the burbs, so they don't commute to downtown anymore. They don't want to live downtown anymore. They want to live out of town, and they want to have a home where they can literally take a bedroom and make it an office, or two of the four bedrooms and make them offices, or one bedroom upstairs is an office, and the basement is going to be converted to an office. All kinds of possibilities. Okay, millions of possibilities. Your home was valued at $600,000 3 years ago. And at the time you owed 100 on it, 150 on it when when you bought it for 300,000 15 years ago, 20 years ago, it was worth 600, 650. You can get right now 900,000 for your house. Now, mom and dad, grandma and grandpa are looking at that going, hey, oh, wait a minute. If we sell this thing for 900 G's and we own it outright, that's 900 grand in our hands, cash. You know what we could do now? We could live off that money plus our retirement savings that we've already got and our pensions. And we could either live in a active senior center of some kind where um, we're part of a senior community, but we're active seniors. We have our own cars and have our own like little house in the community, but everything is looked after for us. Housekeeping is looked after for us. Maintenance on the house. And we're just, even meals. I mean, we could eat meals in the clubhouse anytime we want or make our own. And we can travel, um, and we're just leasing this thing. We're just leasing this for 5,000 a month, 3,000, whatever it is. We have the money to do this. We have the cash flow to do this. Why should we maintain this big old house? Not necessary. Or we could theoretically, we could do what the kids had. Those kids who are coming out here, we could go there. We'll go into the city, and we'll take a condo in a downtown area, and live in a hometown and do that. Or we'll move further out of this region into a small town scenario. Might be 20, 40, 50 minutes from here, because we don't need all the services that we used to need, because we had kids in the house and all. We don't need to be near Chuck E. Cheese, and we don't need to be near a McDonald's, or we have a McDonald's in every small town anyway. Whole change of lifestyle. Plus, people are going, well, we're only going to be 6 months here and 6 months down south, because we have a down south place, and we're now going to spend more time south, or we're moving completely to the south. We're going to Arizona, we're going to California, we're going to Texas, we're going to Florida, we're going to wherever, and we're going to stay year round in wherever. And goodbye to the north and the winter and all that. And so 52-year-olds and plus are realizing, I don't have to go back to work. I've been bought out. I have been pushed out with a big fat check to say, here, why don't you take your million and a half, $2 million of savings and equity and all that, and get out and start your retirement at age 53 rather than work another 7 or 8 years to your 60, 63. This is a temptation that 53-year-olds, 54-year-olds, 55-year-olds look at and go, yeah, you got that right. I'm golfing. We still play pickleball or tennis, or we're active because we're healthy and all that. Yeah, let's go, because we know people in the family. We know people personally who are in their mid 60s and late 60s, and they're in rough shape, physically rough shape, and economically not so good, and they are trapped in a hellish world. We're not. We have an out, and there are millions of these folks, millions in the America and Canada, who are saying, "See you around." I can see that. Just read today about white collar salary workers are finally getting a boost in pay that they haven't seen in 30 years. Anywhere from 4 to 7% pay increases are now commonplace among white collar workers. Those of you who have been white collar workers who are following me, desperately trying to find a way to take my courses and become an option writer and get away from that job. Those of you who want to do this are sitting there going, I haven't had a 3% increase in pay or a 4% increase in pay since the 80s and 90s. I haven't seen that. Um, every year it's the same crap from the BS from human resources that, pay increases of 1.5% to 2% are what's being offered to everybody across the board. And a lot of you out there who are either watching me now or watching me on a rerun, many of you have been classified at a certain corporate level. It used to be, there was the owner, and then there was the owner's son or daughter, and then there were the trusted advisors, and then the managers, and then everybody else. Now there's 25 pay grades. Like there's 25 levels of there's if not 50 within organizations. I mean, it's just so convoluted and it's ridiculous. And so many of you are caught in this absolute quagmire of crap where there are 17 levels for you to get out of to really get a raise, because you can move up a level or two every year or so, but it's going to take 10 years for you to get up to this other level where you get 30% more money, 40% more money than you're getting now. You're never getting out. You know it deep down inside. If you're already 40 years of age and there's still 15 levels between you and a senior level, you're never going to get there. You're going to die before you get there. So there's no chance in hell you're going to make the bucks. Many of you have resigned yourselves to that, and or you accepted it. You've gone, yeah, it's just a job, and you know what? I don't want the crap that those guys have up there, because even for double the money that I'm getting now, I wouldn't take that job for all the tea in China. I get that too. I totally do. The corporate world has its pluses and minuses, and that's one of the minuses. In any event, human resources departments are saying to senior management, listen, guys, we have a problem here. We are losing 3 employees for every 1 we can attract in. We are shrinking. And for a while, it was cute. It was really sweet and all, because you kept coming to us and saying, if you could reduce our expenses, that would be really cool. If you could keep those wage gains down. And we kept the wage gains down. It was really simple. Last year, the payroll was $150 million. This year, the payroll is $135 million. Yeah, the problem is we've lost most of our staff. That's the only way we've done it, is that more people are walking than coming in. That's why we're reducing our costs, or we're able to pay $150 million this year versus $150 million last year. We're same payroll, yeah, except we have 3% fewer staff here. We've got major gaps in various departments that are now really costing the corporation a lot of money, because these people that you keep screwing with these crap raises have had enough, and they're walking out, and they're not renewing their interest in staying here anymore. And these folks have figured out that, yeah, they're getting paid $85,000 a year with benefits and all that stuff, or $110,000 a year in benefits and blah, 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 blah. But, after taxes and after, expenses and getting here and back with commute costs that you're not kicking in for and they can't write off, they're sitting there going, you know what? If I make $80,000 a year at home, as a self-employed consultant, I clear more money. So I don't even need to make the $110,000 you guys are paying me to make more money in my pocket. I can work for 80 grand, and I can work for 80 grand for 30 hours a week. That's all I got to do as an independent. I'm working 30 hours a week and making my 80 grand, which is more net money than you're paying me. So screw you guys. I'm out of here. Forget this crap. Oh, and I found this guy, this homeless Canadian guy who rents a Tesla and rents condos. He claims he rents condos in Palm Desert, and he talks about wildebeest disappearing unexpectedly. I watch a guy like that, and I'm learning how to write options on the open market. And I'm thinking, what do I need you for? I've been with you for 15 years, and all I'm getting from you guys is this base salary, endless work, 60 hours a week of work, plus you want me in on weekends to work more. And I'm getting the thanks for coming in. No. I'd rather deal with this homeless Canadian guy and work with him and hang out with him all day long and put in 30 hours and make my money. And whatever he makes, whatever I make from this Bruce guy, this Uncle Bruce guy on the side, is gravy to me. And quickly figuring out, you know what? It's kind of funny. I talk to this, I listen to this Bruce guy all the time, and I become a member of his channel. I take a couple of his classes, and I start writing these options. Um, you know, I'm bringing in more money combined now between my self-employed and writing these contracts than I did working for you that I'll ever make. Because all Bruce has to do is, can you help me make 1.5% more than what my employer is paying me every year? Can you grow? Can you help me grow my returns by 1.5% more than my employer? Because that's all they're giving me, 1.5%, 2% annual raises. Although now 4 to 7% because they're trying to catch up. Bruce, this is a no-brainer for this homeless guy. This homeless Canadian is showing me methods to make money I've never even heard of before, and certainly is not taught in any school that I know of. So yes, folks are saying sayonara to the bosses, even though the bosses are now throwing up 5, 7, and 10% raises for white collar workers. Most interesting things happening now for a lot of white collar workers. Hey, this is a godsend, and it's about time. And they're never going to quit their jobs. It's either the primary job that the individual has, the primary job that they're ever going to have. They love it. They love the company. They love the coworkers. I mean, great. And if you're now getting paid, inflation plus 2% or inflation plus 4%, well, about time, isn't it? And if you're being moved up the ladder because you're now smart enough to say, hey, boss, funny thing, I've been working here for 10 years and, well, I just thought of something. It's out there. Like, I'm really out there. But you know what I noticed? Back in 2019, I was working in your department, and I would come in on Saturdays and I'd work on Friday nights for you. And there were like 200 of us in this department, and I was like number 180, and you would just crap on me all the time. And I stuck it out, and the COVID thing came, and I stuck it out. I kept working for you, although I'm working from home and everything. But you know what's funny? It's goofy. You're down to 140 people now, and the workload. Not only is it the same, there's more work now required in this department than ever before. And yours should be at 220 to 240 people, not 200, but you're at 140, and. I'm in the top 40 now. I'm one of your top 40 people. And out of 240, I would be in the top 40. I'm not your number one person. No. But I'm in your top 6. I'm in the top 15 percentile for experience, reliability, dependability, and getting the job done. And you know what I've noticed? It's the goofiest thing. I check my bank account every once in a while, and I keep getting these, these payments coming in every 2 weeks that just don't change. They're always the same. And everything else I need is more expensive now than before. And I just kind of can't help but think maybe I'm not getting enough money. So maybe we have to renegotiate my situation here. And let's start with the first part of the discussion, where I rank in this entity of yours. I'm no longer number 180 out of 200, or maybe, maybe 190 out of 240 because you're going to bring in, more people. No. I'm now number 38 out of 240 potential. So I'm in the top, I'm in the 8 percentile bracket. I believe, according to the Human Resources Department that we have, our HR division, that lifts me up 4 levels in the corporate scale, and it qualifies me to take management courses so that I can become someday you. That's what I become in the next 2 years. I become you. And so we have to talk, because from what I can understand through, internal, guidance and everything, I earn about a third about what you make, and you got a 15% raise last year because you're apparently like irreplaceable. And I think I'm like you, and so maybe we have to sort of make adjustments. And but hey, if you can't do it, I understand. If you just can't get around to it, you just can't see it in your budget. I understand. Maybe. I don't know. I could just go somewhere else. I'll go to Human Resources and have my exit interview, and I'll talk to them about why I'm leaving the firm. Oh, you don't want me to go to that? You don't want me to do the exit interview? You think you can go back to human resources for me and put in a word? Well, let me know. I appreciate it. uh, anyway, some of you folks are, I hope, getting big fat raises, big fat promos because your employer's going, geez, we can't replace this individual. This one individual was a number 180 out of the 200. They're now number 38, and in a year from now, they're going to be a number 16, and in 2 years, they're going to be a department head. Because these are the kind of people we keep here. We don't let these people go. As a matter of fact, when we recruit people like this from other organizations in the old days, like 2017, 18, 19, when we used to bring in a number 38 person, we would start them at double what this moron was getting because it was just a 180. I mean, it's just a kid. We would bring in this 10-year veteran and we pay them double the pay. And then within 2 years, we promised that individual that with management training and everything else, they would move up the ladder, into the upper 10 slots of the corporate ladder of 40 slots we've got or whatever they call it. Well, this isn't a kid anymore. This veteran of our company, this now, instead of a 3-year veteran, is now a 5-year veteran, but this 5-year veteran has got 10 years of experience all of a sudden. We got to move these people up. And there are dozens of them in this organization or in just that department. And in this department we got to get our heads straightened out here. We're not going back to normal. There is no normal anymore from before. That old normal, that's gone forever. It's never coming back. It's the new normal. We've already lost a whole bunch of people in all these departments. They're never coming back here. They've got pay raises so dramatic by leaving. They're looking at us going, I'm never coming back to you guys. I'm not even coming back to you at a higher level because I don't trust you guys to move me up there. You're not going to move me up at that level either. You're going to keep me locked in there. Don't believe you. So this kid who's saying to us, hey, listen, I did all this for you. Maybe it's time for a little reward. We got to keep these people. These are the ones we want to keep. This guy or girl, they want to be loyal to the organization. They want to be part of our upper management. They want to evolve us into the future. They get it. They understand it. They know where they're at. They know where everyone around them is at. This is the kind of thinking we need in this organization. And the hope is, for any of these corporations out there, that they get this, that this is in their heads. Problem is, you got some human resources departments who just are so lame and so poorly staffed, they don't get it. And they're getting hammered, absolutely hammered with the bleed off is just incredible. The amount of knowledge walking out the door is seeps out. It's invisible. The upper guys, the top people, the absolute guys and girls at the board level and the senior VP level, they don't get it because they don't hear it, because they don't have the connection to the HR department. See, when I used to be the branch manager and vice president for the brokerage firm that I used to work for, with my 40 people I had to run at my staff, there were 2 people that I relied on. Well, there were 3 people I relied on. There were 4 people I relied on there were 5 people. There were certain people I relied on for certain information, okay? If I wanted to know what was going on in the markets, what was happening on the trading floor, I just called my floor trader because he was my eyes and ears on the floor. Okay. If I wanted to know what was happening inside the company between my branch and head office with regards to logistics and all the paperwork and all the crap, I would bring in my operations manager. He and I had a very strong connection. And he would tell me all the scuttlebutt happening in head office because he had friends in head office that would tell him stuff that he wasn't supposed to know. And then I'd find out. So we would get the inside scoop on what was going on in head office, which guy was diddling which girl and who was getting canned and the scandal about this and that. We got all the dirt through underground connections. Okay. Then I had I happened to have Jennifer, who worked for me and who also was my desk trader. So Jennifer would give me scoop, of course. How can I not know about that? But I had 2 more people. I had my personal assistant, who was my secretary, who some of my salesmen would go to instead of to me to talk about something they'd wanted done and ask her to ask me about it. because they didn't have the guts to walk into my office. And then I had the absolute number one source of info that I needed to know. The absolute number one person who could give me the lowdown. And this person, I made sure to always keep very happy. And this person was always well paid and was well looked after. And I was proactive with this person to make sure. And it was always a female. This position was always a female position. I made sure the young lady that was in that position was always happy. And if she wanted a 1 week holiday in the summertime, I made arrangements. She got that 1 week holiday. I made it so that she would never leave the firm. It's like the movie The Firm. No one left the firm alive. This position was critical to me, that I could not have turnover at this level. And yet it's one of the lowest levels in the entire branch that I ran. One of the lowest levels of employee. And yet the same person was always there and they were always happy. And who was that? The receptionist. It was the receptionist, the gal that answered the phones, because she was the one who did all the organizing for all the FedEx packages. She received all the documentation that came in. She shipped out documentation that brokers wanted to ship out. She handled all this stuff. She would also be told by the broker, I'm not in today. I'm not feeling well. She would have all the scoop on everybody, and she would give me updates. And she wouldn't walk into my office and sit down and talk to me in the office, because if she did that, everybody would see it. And then they all go, oh, God, you look at the... No. I just phone her. I just call her within the office, and I just talk to her on the phone. And I would tell her how important she was to us, and how it was imperative for us to know what was going on, and specifically me. And so she realized how important she was to the organization and how discreet she had to be. Then I would say to her, you're one of the best paid receptionists in this city. You can compare going to any other organization if you want to ever quit this corporation, and you won't be treated like you're treated here, because you are essential to my operation. You have to help me figure out where am I at here, what's going on, who's doing what. And I would get to all kinds of little scuttlebutt through her to me. From time to time, my right-hand gal would be go out for a coffee. And then on the way back from a coffee, she'd, of course, bring one to the receptionist. Of course, you never leave the office and come back with just your coffee. You ask her on the way out, would you like a cappuccino? Oh, yeah, I love what. You bring her cappuccino the way she likes it. But my gal would talk to the receptionist. They'd talk for 10 minutes, having their little coffees together. And then my gal would come into my office, and the office is thinking, oh, that's Bruce and his secretary doing whatever they're doing. Yeah, that's right. Bruce and his secretary are doing what they're doing. And what's going on? She's giving me the lowdown from the reception desk. She's telling me stuff that the receptionist doesn't really want to talk to me about, like lady things and personnel things between this and that, uncomfortable stuff that gals can talk about. And then I would get the edited version. I'd say, don't give me all the gory details. Just help me out here. I'm a guy. Keep it guy simple. And then that's how I figured stuff out. That's how you run an organization from the top to the bottom. Anyway, corporate everything. They're completely being upset. They're completely being upset here. And many of you out there have figured this out, and you've begun to realize just how valuable you really are to your organizations, and how underpaid you've actually been, or underappreciated, undertrained, underutilized, and they have not set you up for to take over. They have not, for whatever reason, the entities that you've worked with in the past, some here, some there. Some of you have realized that you've hit the top level. You're not going any higher, and why is a million reasons why. Sometimes it's family organizations, and you're never going to get ahead of the son-in-law. You're never going to get this guy's level. The son itself, the daughter-in-law, the niece, related to the president of the family business. There's a level you're going to, and you're not going any further than that, because the company will never be run by anyone other than the family, whoever, right? And then there's the public corporations. There's that. And then there's the companies who have management changes. And this is what screws up so many of you out there. You put in your 5 years, your 10 years of loyal, dedicated service. You've moved up the levels. You get up to like a level 8, and all you need is 3 more levels to hit number 5. And when you hit number 5, you hit the perks. You hit expense accounts. You hit all kinds of upside. And just as you're moving into level 8, going into level 7, guess what happens? There's a new CEO. New CEO is taking over, and the new CEO has a new team. They're getting rid of the top 20 that are running that corporation. That new CEO is getting rid of 8 of them in the first 3 months. And 6 months later, another 3 are gone. And within 2 years, all 20 are different people. And you need one of those 20 to sponsor you up to get into the top, and no one likes you. No one knows you. No one has any reason to like you. They all have their favorites. They all have their agendas. And the people that you worked with, those of the top 20 that used to be there, you had really good relations with 4 or 5 of these folks. And they saw you as an up and comer, but you couldn't get up there before they got canned or got bought out or whatever the deal is. And you realize it, and you're going, oh, shoot, 10 years of my life, I've sat in here and I've worked my tail off to get up to that level. I deserve to be there. I have the knowledge to run this organization. And you try to talk to people above you to get moved up, and they dismiss you out of hand. Why? Because you don't have the connections, and the CEO doesn't know who you are and doesn't want to know who you are. And so you're set adrift, and you're now going to be forever a level 8 until you quit. And a lot of you have figured out over the years, after years and years of service, the only way you're going to move on is to leave and move to other organizations. And that's the way it was. Where today, in the new world, hello, we've got a situation here where there's changes at level at the top 20 because some of these guys have walked, some of these guys have been bought out, some of them have passed away. They caught the virus and they're not here anymore. Or the CEO, who was brought in at age 59, has now been there for 4 years. He's 63 years old. This person has their own plans, and their plans are, I'm retired at age 64. They're leaving. They know they're leaving. You don't know that. They know that. And when they walk, whoever the new CEO is, here we go again. Here we go with another. You're never gonna make it. You have to tie yourself into a CEO through the way up. It's political to a degree, and some of you, will never get that opportunity, and some of you will, and more power to you. In any event, I throw it all out there as the changing of the guard, the changing of life, and corporate America and Canada and Europe are beginning to realize there are certain people out here that, if you're a CEO, you really need to have spies or informants to fill you in on who the up-and-comers are in this organization. That's what I wanted to know. I mean, if I took over an entity, I want to know, well, of the 150 employees that are here, who are the top 20 that I have to lean on? Who are the top 20 really? I have a right-hand man. Yeah, I have my receptionist, and I have my secretary. Yeah. But all those people out there, who's the future of this company? Where's the future of this company with the folks I have, or do I have to bring in from the outside? Let me in on it. And I would now be on a discovery mission, and it would take me maybe 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, 5, figure it out. And every once in a while, we'd have a new hire come in and set the house on fire, just make fantastic things happen. But they'd flame out after a year because they lived on stimulants that just couldn't keep it going. And then there were those the steady up and comers, and the slow and steady road up the ladder. And we just saw these people who were always pushing human resources. I want to take a course in this. I want to move into this division. I want to learn how to do that. Next thing you know, these folks had 5, 6 departments of experience. After 7 or 8 years, they knew this department, and they were they were a people person. They were an employee's, like they were a manager's manager. They were the kind of people that had collaborations everywhere. Everybody likes so-and-so. And nobody had a bad word to say about such and such, because this person was a team player and was always there, but also was showing leadership capacity, leadership capabilities. That is what management wanted to know. And I ran into that personally when I was with the firm that I eventually became branch manager of. I was the desk trader and a broker, and our branch manager was just a disaster. This guy was unfortunately he was a generally speaking an okay guy, but he had dependence issues, liquid dependencies, and he had to have the liquids during lunch to make it, and it affected his relationships with everybody. And I went to I had a holiday. I had a holiday coming up to go to Ontario to visit my mom and dad. So Jennifer and I, this is before Jen Jr., we flew out to Ontario, and I had a lunch arranged with the senior vice president of the company, who had come out to our branch when he did branch tours. And he got to know me because I was a desk trader, and he would ask me what's going on, because this is where I learned all this from. And I got to meet him, and I had arranged he said, when you're in Toronto, when you're in Ontario, you make a date to see me. I want to have lunch with you. We're just going to have lunch together, because then we can talk without phones and without you having to worry about putting in orders. And I thought, oh, this is great. So I didn't know it, but went to the office, told him I was here to see so and so, and I was escorted into his waiting area, reception area. He came out to see me and just greeted me warmly. It's great that you're here, and that you have an okay flight, and how you and your wife. He said, I thought we'd go out for lunch today, but I wanted to bring Barry with us. Who's Barry, you ask? The chairman of the board, the top guy. I'd never met this man before. The number one guy, Barry. And it was the three of us. I'm 25. The number two guy, the guy that I report to, he was 40, and then Barry was 63. And we're going out to have lunch together at a very nice restaurant in Toronto. And I had on a suit and tie. I was dressed for the office. And it turned out that I figured it out later, what was going on. They were interviewing me for a job that I really didn't quite pick up on right away. But the way they did it was so casual. It was just, oh, what do you think of the company? How do you like working for us? And what do you think we can do better? How do you think that branch is going? What would you do if you were, are you happy with how this is going? We did this directive. What did you think of that directive? And I found out later, I really, it didn't take long, figured out they were interviewing me for a possibility of becoming management of the organization. And because they were looking at me going, this is an up and comer. This kid's 25. He's handling the desk. He's handling the broker's needs. And whenever there's a problem in Calgary, the manager isn't available because he's out at the club getting sauced. We call whoever we can get a hold of. Who can we get a hold of? This guy. We can always get a hold of this guy. He's always there. And we ask him about this, and he gets it done. And then he gets back to us and gets it done. Or he'll get the right person to contact us to get stuff figured out. In effect, I was managing the branch for half the day already. I was already the manager of the branch without being the manager of the branch. And they knew it. And I was getting that vibe. It was within 6 months of that lunch. I put it to them and said, guys, look, I can't stay here anymore because our manager is dysfunctional. And, I can't stay under here. And they offered me the assistant manager position. So we'll make you the assistant branch manager. I said, that's great, but that's not good enough because that isn't the solution to our problem. The solution to our problem is the guy who's running the branch has to go. And I thought, again, naively, because again, I was 25, you got to bring in another branch manager. You got to bring in someone who's 50 years old, who's been around the block a few decades, that I can work with. I wouldn't mind being his assistant manager, but he has to hire me as assistant manager. You can't, make him come into a branch and say, oh, by the way, this is your assistant manager. No. You got to bring this guy in and then say to him, hey, if you think there's anyone in that office that you want to make the assistant manager, great. Otherwise, find one. And so I had an offer to go elsewhere. And all I was interested in at that point was just being a salesman again, because I was up to here in clients. I couldn't do the desk anymore. And I left the firm And but we left on cordial terms because I didn't resign to my manager. I resigned to the top guy in Toronto that my manager reported to, the 40-year-old. And it was a year and a half later that I heard the word they were now actively looking to dump this guy because it was another. They gave him another year to see if he could straighten out, and he couldn't straighten out. And so they started the search. And then I called back and I said, I'll come back, but I'm coming back as manager, not as an assistant. You get him out, I'm coming in. And because now I'm 26, 27, and I feel more confident. I have people involved in mind I'd like to bring with me, and so it was a different game, and I got the job. And that's how it worked. But sometimes you have to leave to come back. Sometimes you have to leave to move forward. Sometimes you have to leave to get what you deserve. This is the way it is. And welcome y'all to welcome to Life 101. And now we're dealing with a pandemic. Some of you out there are being given opportunities you never thought you'd have. Fast forward opportunities. Some of you have moved forward in your careers by a decade in the last 2 years. You've moved fast forward you've moved forward 10 years inside your organizations because of what's happened with the pandemic. You've had people above you quit, leave, go elsewhere, form their own entities. All of a sudden, you're moving up. You're moving because there's a gap, there's a vacuum above you, up to a certain level all of a sudden, and you've moved up levels that you never thought you'd see already. And the firm gets it that you're still here, and you're eager to take on more, and they're eager to give you more because they know you can. You're showing them you can handle it, and they're going yes, 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 absolutely. We're moving you up, and I congratulate you. I say, way to go. This is fabulous. And if it's going to work for you, it's going to work for you. On the other hand, if a number of you have realized that, no, even with all the vacuum above me, they're not moving me up. I'm just still being kept down here, or they're just not getting it, or you've mentioned that you'd like to do more and more and more, but they've put you off and they put you off and they keep putting you up because they don't have the authority to move you up. And maybe the manager who would make the call, there isn't one anymore at the moment, and they're looking for a new manager to take on the position. And that manager is going to say, I need 6 months to a year to decide what to do with my people. You realize, oh God, this is another year of hell. I have an opportunity now to make a move. And then, of course, those of you who are writing options now, who've never written options before, you're realizing, oh my God, half of my salary I'm already bringing in just doing this. I'm just hanging out with this guy on the computer here for 4 or 5 hours a day, and I've already replaced half my salary with what this guy's helping me do. The other half is going to be so much easier because I'm getting more comfortable writing options now. I'm beginning to figure out how this works. I'm out of here, man. See you around. I just don't see the future here anymore. Even if you guys gave me 50% more money after tax, it would be 15% more money, and I'd have to now work an extra 20 hours a week to earn it. Forget it. No, I'm not giving this up. Not going to give this to you. It's not worth it to me. And welcome to 2022. We're just about to start 2022. My God, have things changed? And yet they haven't. They've changed and they haven't. And back in the 80s, we had our corporate struggles. We had all the issues you have today, except for a pandemic. We had personalities, we had politics, we had dirty deeds, we had people, dogs and cats sleeping with each other. We had it all. We had all the drama and all the shenanigans going on inside corporate whatever. And there were people who had positions that didn't deserve them, had positions that were utterly unqualified to have because they had the connections. And then there were the absolute qualifieds who were kept down and were never given a chance. And they either took it and swallowed their pride and just, wilted into a corner and just kind of showed up all the time for their check. And there were others who just said, screw this, I'm out of here, man. I can go on my own, or I can join another team where I'm appreciated and I'm out of here. And we've had that all the time. That happened. That was the same in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, all the way. And it's still the same today, but we just throw the COVID in for fun. And not a lot of fun, but we're throwing it in, aren't we? And here we are. Welcome one, welcome all to my show. We're going to open up here in a minute or two. Larry, I think, is going to hit the bells rather shortly for us. And we'll just see how the markets are doing today and see if any of you can make some money today and this week. I appreciate you being here with me today. I'm so glad you could make it. It's nice to have you here. And like I said, I hope you had a great break. and that you got to make a few maybe phone calls or FaceTime calls with people you haven't seen in a while, and all of that good stuff, and um, reconnecting with people and staying in touch with others and just seeing what's going on. Fabulous. I see Rocket Lab at 12:02 here. I see Sofi at 15:09 up a dime. I'm showing GameStop at 152.14. I've got Matterport 23.22. I think, although I can't be certain. Larry, thank you, buddy, for hitting that. Appreciate that very much. The last reports I had on ME 743. I had Spire showing 377. I'm showing ATIP going into the end of it here, up dime at 340. Smart Rent I'm showing at $10, and I'm showing Sixtera at 1208 up 22. That might be Friday's close. Goldman 385 up 271. Got Apple showing right now at 176.28 up 64 cents. I'm showing Tesla right now at 1,067 up $58 today. So Tesla looks like it's coming back on here. We may have a bit of a run into the 11-1200 range on Tesla. That's possible, because the selling for Elon seems to be over. He's indicated that he's kind of done what he needed to do, tax reasons and corporate reasons, and exercising options that he was granted way back when he needed to raise cash and buy stock and all that sort of stuff. So fabulous, Larry. You got the wording down perfect. Let's go. I agree. Flights canceled all over. Crazy times. Enjoy being home. Yep. We're going to get more of this. This is the next thingy. There's a thingy. Okay, I think we're the green thingy, and then there's this red thingy, and it seems to be coming towards the green thingy, and I think we're the green thingy. Yeah, what this thingy is where corporate, the corporate world. And I'm tempted to call it corporate America, but that's not right. That's not exactly accurate. It's not corporate America. It's corporate everywhere, where all of a sudden we're realizing that, holy crap, did you notice that so-and-so airline canceled so many flights, and this airline canceled flights, and that airline, and they're not just U.S. airlines. We're getting cancellations of airline flights from everywhere, like in Europe, in the Caribbean, in the USA, in Canada, Asia. We have flights being disrupted everywhere. And why? It's not because Homeland Security in the U.S. is putting all kinds of restrictions on stuff, or it's unions protesting. No, none of that. What it is the virus spread is now so out of control everywhere, not just in the U.S. or Canada. I mean, globally, it is now so ridiculous that you get the captain of a flight crew testing positive, or one of the flight attendants. You may have to isolate the entire 10 crew members for 10 days. You got to isolate them because they've been together, and one of them is positive now, which means the other 9 are going to become positive. Well, all of a sudden that flight crew is offline. They can't fly for a week and a half, maybe longer. They have to have 6 successive negative tests after so many days before they are clear to go. Airlines can't staff planes. They can't staff all of their aircraft for all of their scheduled flights, and they're getting last minute. Hi, how are you? We're infected. We're positive. We can't go. And this is happening with ground crews, Heathrow, the baggage handlers coming down with it, left, right, and center. And there are just shifts of workers being told to stay home and isolate. This is global. This isn't, in New York or Philly or Phoenix or LA. This is a global problem. And all of a sudden we have got global interruptions. And now it's going beyond just airplanes. It's going into all kinds of organizations that need staffing. And Your local grocery stores may be short-staffed. You may find your local Costco, one here, one there, one here, one there, might be short-staffed. Your Targets, your Walmarts, your the McDonald's. You may find that fast food restaurants in your town may possibly shut down their dining rooms and only offer takeout. That's all they're going to offer. They can't staff enough people to run the organization. I know this from last year in Creston. Our Tim Hortons, we were running the takeout for 6 months, just the drive-through, and that was limited hours. They would shut down at 3 in the afternoon for the rest of the day. They'd be open till midnight every night. These guys, at 1 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, shut down. We don't have enough staff to even run our drive-through. This is what's going on out there now, and this is causing problems. This is going to cause economic misses where public companies are going to be reporting their third quarter, fourth quarter, first quarter, and they're going to come in with disappointing numbers, and they're not going to call it supply chain issues. They're not going to call it labor costs are too high, we can't afford to hire the people. No, it's now a new problem. The new problem, we can't staff our organization to the maximum. We can't organize the warehouse to receive, which means we can't get goods from a truck into our storage area at the back of the store, unpack, price, and put in the shelves. Or we ran out of cashiers, or we ran out of floor staff. We've run out of staff at head office to reorder product. We've run out of staff to pay staff on time. We got all kinds of logistical problems here. And the airlines are the front lines. And we've seen this now in our face this last 3 days, where we are reading headline after headline on CNN, on New York Times, Washington Post, wherever else reading news about travel, about airlines canceling flights. And they're canceling flights in red states, blue states, socialistic countries, capitalistic countries, doesn't matter. There are flights not flying, being canceled right out. And now we have all of a sudden a very unreliable flight network. And that is really screwing things up. I mean, really screwing things up. And there are folks who want to go on a holiday, who have a window to go on a holiday, and now they're worried about trying to do the holiday because they're saying to themselves, I might not either get out or be able to get back at the beginning or the end of this planned trip because of outside forces I had never dealt with before. Because even last year during the pandemic, there were still flights. It's just that we're restricted, but there were flight crews ready to go all the time. Now, all of a sudden, there's a shortage of this. So this is another issue that's coming up. So see what happens. Right now, the market is up 74 points on the Dow, 16 on S&P, 60 on NASDAQ. We're down 21 cents on crude. Crude is way overpriced. The amount of crude that will not be needed in the next 3 to 6 months is going to screw this price up royally. The analysts keep talking about, oh, we're coming back and it's going to be a great economy and everything's going to be wonderful. It isn't going to happen, and we're going to have more supply chain issues and now more disruptions. You take 2,000 flights a day out of the system. Do you know how many gallons of jet fuel you don't need today if you cancel 2,000 flights a day? Do you have any idea how much we're talking about? This adds up, and you can never use up that fuel, to catch up. No, you missed 2,000 flights yesterday, gone forever, and you're not going to add 2,000 more flights today on top of the 2,000 flights yet. No, you're just going to try to run back to a normal schedule. The amount of fuel available for those of us to go driving, flying, shipping, railing, we're not going to need as much. And if we have a mild winter, are the forecasts all screwed up or what? Or will they be screwed up? Anyway, that's just me. I'm showing Rocket Lab up 21 cents to 12.21 right now. That's the opening, 9 minutes. We're at 183,000 volume. I'll show you what's going on and what's not happening. SoFi down a penny. Volume right now is 1.4 million. We were down to 1505. We're at 1506. The high was 1520. So we're still settling in here. GameStop 150.51 down 163 on 121,000. Matterport down 20 cents to 2302. 2285 was the low. We're 2286 now. Hang on. We're at the low of the day, 2286 at the low of the day on 541,000 shares. ME 730 started off at 750, now 730. Low of the day 725 on 173,000. Not getting buy waves yet. Spire down 7 cents to 370. The low 368. We opened at looks like we got up to 386 right away, but couldn't hold it. 41,000 volume. Dead quiet. ATIP up 4 cents at 334. That's the low of the day, up 4 cents. We were at 360 to start the day. That's 20 something cents ago. 150,000 volume. We're not going anywhere at this point. Smart Rent down a penny at 10.09. That's the high of the day. We were at 9.96. We're down a penny at the high of the day on 4,400 volume. 4,400 on Smart Rent. Sextera up a nickel, it looks like. 12.13. That is the high of the day today on 19,800 volume. Absolute dead quiet. No news whatsoever that I could see. AMC down 19 cents, despite the fact that Spider-Man No Return Home, this movie, broke $1 billion at the box office now in its first 2 weeks of release, and AMC is off 11 cents. This is the Achilles heel for AMC. It's great that the movie is doing as well as it's doing, but it's not enough to save them because AMC needs 4 movies at the same time doing this kind of business so that every theater in every location is packed. They can run that movie in 3 here. This movie can run at 3 screens here. This movie can run on 3 screens there. They don't have that. They have a movie that is really dominating, and they're bleeding everywhere else. It's bad news. 28.35 on AMC. Robinhood down 55 cents to 18.35. Vanik up 3.43 to 3.11. Home Depot up 2.80 to 3.99. IBM down 29 cents at 130.34. The Dow is still holding again. Trouble checking now. We are up now 64 points. We've got the S&P at new intraday high of a 23-point gain a little earlier. It might have been earlier. NASDAQ up 102. So 2 of these markets are pushing new all-time highs. The Dow is still about 500 points away. Microsoft up 306 to 337. Apple up $1.90 to 178.18. I'm surprised Apple is here. I really am. I'm surprised Apple is at this level. I would have thought 175, 176 would be a resistance level for Apple, but it is holding 178.15. High of the day, 178.37. The low, 177.09 at the moment. As long as the market wants to show an up bias, Apple will be dragged along. It's not leading the market. It's just going with the market as far as I can see. We'll see. Tesla up $24.69, 1,091. The high 1,098, and it looks good. I think that Tesla could easily break 1,100 and maybe run to 1,200. It's just good news from Tesla right now, corporately. Really good news for Tesla. Way back ordered on their vehicles. They're dropping the costs of their vehicle production costs. They've been able to raise their prices, anticipating the Build Better Act, although that's now on hold. They may have to reduce prices a bit to kind of compensate. They might throw in features for free rather than low prices. Their margins are improving, and Tesla will be interesting. It's going to be an interesting year. Bed Bath Beyond up 17 cents. BlackBerry down 9. Royal Caribbean 77.01 down 252. Truly reflecting what's going on in the cruise business. I cannot believe that Royal Caribbean stock is still 77. I'm thinking 40 where it should really be at. And that's being generous because they're bleeding just tons of money. I cannot imagine taking a cruise right now and wanting to take a cruise, knowing that I have to wear a mask everywhere I am on the ship except to eat and to swim in the pool, which tells me I can't go into the spa. I'm imagining that the spas on these cruise ships are shut down. And if you don't have a spa available, I'm not interested. I got a spa here. It's an outdoor spa. And I'll tell you right now, I'm not leaving this property if I can be in my hot tub here, my hot spa. You shut down the steam room and the spa and the lounger area because of distancing and stuff. Not going to happen. It's just not. You're not getting me on that cruise for that kind of money. Sorry. Goldman Sachs up 218 at 387.22. Goldman is definitely on its way higher. I'm thinking 390 is a target for this stock. So writing 395s and 400 contracts might be the play for this week. You might want to look at writing 400s for this Friday, 395s, 396s, 97. If they're available in dollars, you take a look at them. But that's my gut, because we were at 368 at the low early last week. Now we're into this high 380 range. And I can see the stock reaching 390, maybe 391, 92, maybe this week, but then maybe not. So writing 395s to 400s might be the area to look at on Goldman. And if I'm wrong and they go through 395 to 400, you can always do rollovers anyway. So I like the idea of Goldman. If the premiums are there, you may want to take a look at those. Cisco up 67 cents to 62.95. This is towards the higher end of the range. I figure 65 rights are perfect for this Friday. Maybe 64s, but I would be safer and comfortable at 65s and 66s for this Friday. For next Friday, I'd be looking at 66s to 68s to 70s. I'd be looking at writing contracts for next Friday for those levels. I don't think Cisco can break 70 now, not this moment. It's had a good run though, from the 50s to here. What else is going on? Amazon up $26, Facebook up 7, Alphabet up 15. That's what I see there. Costco up $4.91. Let's see who else and what. American Airlines down 42 cents. That's to be expected. And Intel up 27 cents and Micron up 68. I understand that Intel is a sponsor of the Olympic coverage on NBC from Beijing. I don't know if that's such a good idea. Corporate America, there's still corporate America, like Toyota, the USA Toyota people, they're advertising on the Olympics. The way those Olympics are coming off right now, and the whole atmosphere of the Chinese clamping down on everything, especially Hong Kong the last couple of days. You may have not noticed this, but they have eliminated any reference, any statue, any artwork, any mention of Tiananmen Square, 1989, the absolute bloodbath massacre that those communist bastards ran on those kids. They have eliminated everything to do with that protest from Hong Kong's existence. They've taken away the statues in Hong Kong's university. They've taken away other statues in other areas of the city. They have taken away anything to do with Tiananmen Square out of Hong Kong. They are totally communizing Hong Kong to be adhering to the Beijing doctrine. And it is a complete stripping away of all human rights for the Hong Kongers. I cannot emphasize enough to anyone in Hong Kong, if you're watching, if you have an opportunity to get the hell out of there, your time is running out. This is only the continuation of a complete collapse of freedom of movement for anyone in Hong Kong. Soon, and I don't know how soon, but it'll come where you won't be able to leave town. You will not be able to leave China itself. You will be Chinesed, and you will be restricted for your movements. And I don't know what day, what week, what month this happens, but I know that I already am aware of a lot of talent that has bugged out of Hong Kong. They have moved out of there. Singapore is a huge destination of choice among other Asian areas. But I got to tell you, Hong Kong is being stripped of anything to do with the outside world. The Chinese are just shutting it off and cutting it off. And it's only a matter of time before internet will not be allowed in anymore to Hong Kong from the outside world. And Hong Kong will be completely eliminated from existence from the outside world. And I'm so saddened to see it, so disappointed, but I'm not surprised, because these buggers are completely crushing Hong Kong's spirit. It's ridiculous. Why athletes want to go to Beijing, why countries are sending athletes to Beijing is beyond my comprehension. The crap that's going on over there is so ridiculous. The genocide that's happening over there is so ridiculous. I just think countries are gutless with these guys. They're gutless against the Chinese. They're afraid of them. And that is the problem. When the Chinese feel that they have the power, they're going to exert it. And it's just going to get worse. You think it's going to get better because you're appeasing these guys? Give it a rest. It's not going to happen. The outside world has been trying to appease China for 20 years. And all you gotten for it is more and more oppression, more and more restrictions, and more BS from these guys. Now they're picking on Lithuania because Lithuania's got the guts, a country of 3 million people. My father was born in Lithuania. The guts Lithuania is showing to recognize Taiwanese independence and to allow Taiwanese officials to have an embassy in Lithuania. I think it's incredible. I commend them entirely. Chinese have recalled their ambassador. They've kicked the ambassador out of Lithuania, out of the country. And I say good riddance to these morons. I think that the Lithuanians should put 50% tariffs on anything made in China coming into their country. Make it sting. You come at me with a pistol, I'm coming at you with a cannon. You come at with me with something, I'm coming back to you 10 times worse. I just can't understand why the Western world kowtows to these communist bastards who are just goons. I just don't get it. I'm the only YouTuber probably who's talking like this because what have I got to lose? I got a channel of 90,000 viewers. I got nothing. I got nothing on the line here. These guys are unbelievable, and I don't understand why any pension fund would hold anything to do with a Chinese investment. You got to be out of your moron minds to be holding this crap because these guys are not going to pay their bills. This Evergrande thing, I saw Evergrande stories this morning that say things are returning back to normal in Evergrande. You know what those are? Those are paid articles that have been sponsored, I bet you, by paid people from China. It might be hidden through all kinds of, clandestine groups so that you can't trace it back to the Chinese itself, but it isn't sweet and normal over there. It's ugly. And there's a one city we've heard of with 13 million people who've been shut down because of the virus. Private vehicles aren't allowed on the road. When I mean shut down, I don't mean like, oh, you can get in your car and go through a drive-through and get your food. No. You can't drive your car in that city. The roads are shut down. They're blocked off. They are spraying chemicals all over public park benches and sidewalks and everywhere they can to try to eliminate this right. They think they can do this. They think this is how you do it. The bottom line is that the transmission of this virus is human to human. That's how it is. And what they're, ignoring, or they know and they just don't want to say it. And that's, I think, really what it is. And when you have 40 and 50 and 60-story condo buildings with 2,000 people per building, and you've got thousands of these all over the place in the country, if not hundreds of thousands of these, how in the world are you not going to have the virus spread from floor to floor? Come on, in the hallway, you got to be kidding me. The transmission there is just out of control. They're suppressing it. They're hiding it. They're not sharing it. And they're deceiving the rest of the planet as to how bad off they really are. And this is not going away. 1.3 billion people in China, and they can't control it with their total suppression techniques, with secret police, military, all the police they have, all the intimidation tactics, owning the media, completely owning everyone's career and controlling everyone's educational opportunities. Are you kidding me? They have total control over every human being over there. So even you thinking about democracy, that's a crime against the country, just like East Germany used to be. And they can't control the damn thing. So if they can't control the virus, what are the odds of the rest of us? Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, that's what's going on. Intel, I don't know why you're sponsoring the Olympics out of China. And NBC, I know why you're broadcasting it. Oh, I absolutely know why you're broadcasting. It's money. It's only the money. It's all you care about. It's the cash. And what is it you want to broadcast the worst? What's the one thing you want to have on prime time NBC television out of those 16 days? One thing. One sport. Figure skating. That's all it is. It's all about figure skating, because it's a female demographic that they want to capture. That is the money. That's where they make the biggest money on the advertising. Advertising to women for figure skaters, because they're all pretty and they have those beautiful little costumes and they twirl around and it's all just so romantic. It's female broadcasting. It's sports broadcasting for women. that NBC is bidding on. It's as simple as that. It is not for the greatness of the sport. I can guarantee you'll get 5 minutes of coverage of the guys jumping off the ski hill, and you'll get 10 minutes of coverage of the bobsled runs, but you're going to get hours of figure skating coverage, from the preliminaries through the short program, through the whatever, and the controversy of the so-and-so judge, giving a shitty score to the American skater. That's what it's all about. It's all about figure skating, and that is where the money comes from. As soon as the figure skaters walk out and don't show up, the Olympics are finished, and that hasn't happened. And I can imagine that the pressure on these gals and these guys to go there has to be absolutely unrelenting from their national organizations. Absolutely unrelenting. And look, you're a figure skater. You've given your 10 years of your life for this sport. What's your payoff if you're an American figure skater? What's your payoff? Ice capades and commercial endorsements. And that's you trying to get your money back. You're trying to get money back for your career. That's what it's all about. And only the figure skaters are really going to be personalities after the games are over. All the skate, all the those snowboarders and the skiers. Yeah, they got their whatever, but it can't hold a candle to the ratings of figure skating. That is what it's all about. And I tell you, I'm just an old fart that just has. I'm too old now. You can't suck me in anymore. It's all over, and we've. It is a pathetic, sad sight to see that these games are going ahead in the middle of a pandemic that is now out of control. I can't believe that organizations are thinking of sending athletes to this place internationally, and how they're not going to catch it is beyond me. How they're not going to catch the virus is beyond complete comprehension. I'm just blown away by it. And everyone knows with us, if you have any sense in your soul, any awareness of what the world is like out there, it's just a big fat propaganda crap show from China. And all you're going to get is just how bloody great they are over there. And it is just crap, because you're never going to see the truth as to what's really going on over there. You're just, no way. And I don't understand. I don't understand why my country, Canada, I don't get it. We grow more wheat than we'll ever eat. Soybeans, barley, grains like you can't believe. We have beef up here. We make pork. We grow food, a lot of food. As a taxpayer, I would rather see this country give away our food to the third world that's starving than sell it to these guys. I just cut them off. I just cut them off because they arrest innocent Canadians over there, put them into solitary confinement for 4 years, put up trumped up spy charges on these guys, threaten them with execution, and we don't do a damn thing about it. There's behind the scenes negotiating going on, but it's one-sided. It's the Chinese telling us what they want us to do. And I don't know why we kowtow to these morons. I just don't get it. These guys need us more than we need them. It's true. But we have to grow a backbone to stand up to these bastards. And we just haven't. And the United States, look, I don't want to get political here, but I gotta hand it to Mr. Trump. I gotta hand it to him. He was the only guy to put the tariffs on these guys. He put tariffs on them, and they didn't like it, and they want them off. And I gotta hand it to Mr. Biden. He hasn't taken them away. I have to say, he hasn't just taken them away. It's the one weapon you've got, economic weaponry against these guys, because you can't outnumber them. You can't out-bullet these people. I mean, there's too many of them. But you know what? We on the outside have goods that they desperately need. And we could make life really uncomfortable for these guys, but we don't. We just don't make it enough. Not uncomfortable enough. And I guess the problem is that we're addicted here in the North America and in Europe. We're addicted to cheap prices for Chinese goods. We're just addicted, and we just won't get off of it. And politicians actually think we'll vote them out if the price of a flat screen TV goes up $150. We're going to vote them out of office. I don't think so. I think we might commend them for it. Maybe we can buy televisions made in Vietnam or in Indonesia rather than out of China. Maybe we can buy this. Maybe this company right here could stand up, really stand up and be the leader that they are supposed to be. The number one company in the world, most valuable corporation there is. These guys right here, these guys, they have the ability to crush China in a big way, but they're not. And you got to ask why. Why won't these people stand up to these guys? Why won't Microsoft stand up to them? Why won't all the other FANG guys, all the other big corporate America? Why aren't I know why? You have to know why. I mean, I don't have to tell you. It starts with a dollar sign, and that's where it ends. But there comes a time where there's dollars and there's morals. And sometimes, and many a time, it seems, dollars trump morals. And there you go. There's where we're at in this wild and wacky world in which we live. And where did the coronavirus start? Yeah, we all know where it started. We just can't get the answer as to why. And isn't that incredible how after all this time, we still can't get the answer as to why it started where it started and how it started? Because that's all state secrets. Why would that be state secrets? Kind of make you wonder, doesn't it? Yeah. Boy, I'll tell you, it doesn't help. It just doesn't help. Anyway, there you go. Credibility, they ain't got any. There is no credibility there. And I just am sick and tired of countries allowing these morons to try to push us around. I just, who do they think they are? You got to be kidding me, man. You guys need us as much as we need you. And you know what? Maybe we don't need you so much anymore. Maybe we really could not need you so much anymore. Wouldn't that be a nice little change of pace? I'm not talking about being confrontational. I'm just talking about being steadfast, solid, and just standing up for ourselves. Lithuania's doing it. Lithuania. The country of Lithuania is standing up to Russia. Unbelievable. One of the only countries in the world, other than Taiwan, which is an island 60 miles off the coast of these guys. 24 million people live on this island. They're standing up to them. Guts? Yeah, that's guts. There are a lot more guts being shown by those two countries than everybody else combined. It is unbelievable. I hope and pray that behind the scenes, there's all kinds of things going on, CIA and the FBI, and not the FBI maybe, but all the clandestine organizations around the world. Yeah. That's all happening. But you know what? We, the public, we're hearing nothing. It's just dead air. That's all we're getting, just dead air. And we're watching human rights getting trampled all the time. And they're bragging about it. The Chinese are bragging about how they're taking over and how they're cleaning up Hong Kong and getting rid of all the ne'er-do-wells and all the the folks who are, trying to undermine the country of China, blah, 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 and jailing all of these former newspaper editors, reporters, politicians who used to be in the parliament in Hong Kong. They're all getting arrested. They're all being house arrested. They're all being denied all kinds of rights because they're the enemy of the state and they can't run for re-election. You're no longer allowed to run for an election because you're obviously a spy for the outside world. Us, democracy. Yeah, we can't have open and complete disclosure. And that's why we'd rather delist our stocks off of the New York Stock Exchange, because we're not going to show the SEC how we cook the books. We're not going to show you that. No, that's those are national secrets. They're publicly traded companies. Oh, yeah. As long as it's your money and it's on your exchange, you can trade it publicly all you want. But we're not going to show you how we came up with the numbers to justify our stock valuations, because that is national security. We don't go there. No, we're not going to do that. These guys right here, these guys have more power than 85 countries of the world combined. Maybe this could be this entity right here could be the world's 20th most powerful corporation. This company could be the world's 20th most powerful nation on earth. Could be, probably are. And all they need to do is begin a systematic walking out, bit by bit by bit, and setting up shop somewhere else. Just saying, the American company, American headquartered in Cupertino, California, not too far from here, just north of here. Just yeah, great product. Oh, love their stuff. But boy, I wish it wasn't made where it's made by who makes it. I really wish. I do get it though that we have the factories over there and we have this good relationship with these people, and we're better to be working with them collaboratively than not. And that sounds great, but you know what they're doing? They're taking those dollars that are being handed over there, and guess what they're doing with them? Yeah, they're using them for not so good things. Not quite so many good things. More bad things than good things. And boy, if other countries acted the way those guys are acting, the UN would just come down on them like a hammer. Oh, there would be all kinds of sanctions and political pressure on, but because it's those guys, they become pretty big. They kind of feel pretty big in their britches now. Maybe a peg or two lower might be the right thing. But we just don't want to do it. And the fact is that in that hierarchy over there, they brainwashed themselves into saying, "Well, we're in a 1,000-year plan. We're running a 1,000-year plan here. We're not interested in just the next 10 or 20 years. We're interested in the next 1,000 years. We will become the dominant country on the planet. We will rule it all, and it'll be our way. And we'll have the population and the bullets to enforce, and we'll make the critical components the world needs to survive on, and then we will rule the roost, and we will call the shots, and the rest of the planet will be powerless to stop us because they need our whatever we're delivering. And if we don't have it domestically, we'll start taking over countries that have what we need, and we'll just take over our neighbors one after the other after the other. Who's going to stop us, really? And over in Russia, Mr. Putin over there, 175,000 troops on the Ukraine border. Gee, what kind of a message should we send to this guy? You want to negotiate with this guy? Are you out of your mind? You want to negotiate with this guy who has a gun barrel to the heads of 5+ million Ukrainians, or whatever this number, 9, 10 million people? You want to now negotiate with this guy? What? We don't negotiate with terrorists. What is this crap? And we give him what he wants. Guess what he does next? He goes to Poland, and he goes to Lithuania, Belarus, Estonia. He puts the guns over there. It's just one after the other after the other. This is the playbook. This is not a secret, okay? It's how this game is played. The way we play it, and the way we could play it, we don't need a single bullet to counteract this guy. We just use the economic bullets. We can use them against China. We can use them against Russia. Your currency isn't welcome in our countries anymore. You just got to pay us with dollars or euros. Otherwise, we don't accept your currency. You can't fly over our territory for commercial flights. We don't sell food to you anymore. We just make it. We just play tit for tat. Get your guys out of there, get them off that border, get them back to the military bases where they belong, and stand down. And then we'll talk to you. But right now, the way it's going, we don't talk under these conditions. No. We escalate in another way. And we can escalate from 15 different directions at the same time, from 100+ nations at the same time, against both of these guys. Straighten them the hell up. But we need leadership, man. We need someone tough. We need someone really strong here to pull this off, and a cast of characters behind this individual or individuals to deliver. But I don't see a Churchill. Do you? Do you see a Roosevelt anywhere with that kind of resolve? I don't notice one. You see Maggie Thatcher anywhere? Anybody see the Iron Lady anywhere? Any Iron Lady? No. The last one we had just quit. Angela, she retired. Ms. Merkel. She was pretty tough behind the scenes. You don't know this, but she was pretty tough behind the scenes. She's gone. What's going on here? I don't know why we're being allowed, or why are we allowing ourselves to be pushed around? I don't get it. I don't see the upside in it. There is no upside in getting pushed around. don't know if you notice this, but I don't notice it. In any event, Rocket Lab is down 3 cents. SoFi's down a dime. GameStop down $5 to 146.79. Matterport down 21 cents. ME down 13. Spire down 15. ATIP down 1.5. SmartRent down 3. Cyxtera up 23 to 12.31. The all-time high on Cyxtera is $12.31. That is the price the Cyxtera is trading at right now. All-time high trade right now for Cyxtera. AMC down 63. Robinhood down 47. Vanik is up 5.25. Home Depot up 276. IBM up 19. The Dow's up 135. We got S&P up 32. We got Nasdaq up 130. Good move on the markets. Microsoft up 524. Apple up $1.26 to 177.50. Tesla up 29 to 1,096. Bed Bath Beyond down 4. BlackBerry down 8 cents. Royal Caribbean down 197. Goldman up $1.40. Cisco up 72 cents to $63 on Cisco. $63 on Cisco. Norwegian down 81 cents. Carnival down 53. Amazon is up $4. Facebook up $8.40. Google up $15. That's where we're at right there. Thank you, one. Thank you all for being here. I haven't read a single comment today. I'm sorry. I've just been ranting and raving. You know, you get a few days off and you have time to reflect. You have time to reflect and think about what's been happening. And I've had a million thoughts in the last 3 days. And I want to thank, number one, I want to thank all of you folks who are here listening to this old man rant and rave. I appreciate it. I appreciate you all seeing me. I appreciate this year. This has been a year that has changed my life and completely. It's completely upside down from a year ago. For many of you, your lives have changed completely from a year ago. And if I have in any way helped you change your life from a year ago to today in a positive way, and you feel better about it, you are making me so happy when I hear this. You were giving me such a gift of satisfaction that I cannot. You have no idea what it's like to be in this position, to see this happen in front of my eyes. But a year ago, Jen and I were broke. We were just getting by in good old Creston. We're in a house there that used to be my mom's home that we bought from her estate. We had a mortgage right up to the highest level we could possibly get, and we were just kind of, getting by. I mean, 2 years ago, we were really struggling because the COVID thing broke out, and my first YouTube channel, Traveling with Bruce, was just falling off the ledge because we couldn't travel, couldn't take a cruise anywhere, couldn't do anything. And the revenues coming in from that channel were plummeting, and we're just, oh gosh, thankfully we have some pension money coming in, but we were just getting by, and it looked grim. And I created this channel in the summer of 2000, and was it 20? I lose track of timing here. And got this channel going with a few videos and talked about GameStop and the short position on GameStop when the stock was $4.88 a share or whatever it was. And it just changed everything last January when everything took off. When the GameStop thing went parabolically crazy, I went live on this channel last January, and you have completely changed our lives. Completely changed our lives. And am I grateful? Oh yeah, am I grateful? Hello there.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
Are you happy?
Just grooming you a bit there.
Are you happy with the year we've
with
had?
a happy new year?
No,
with the old year.
This past year, are you happy with this past year? How it's changed our lives?
This past year has been unforeseeable.
Unforeseeable. We had no inkling that the year that we were going to have happened.
It's been
no way could we have known.
It's been such a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just from 0 to 1,000 miles an hour. We like I was just saying, a year and a half ago, we were broke. We were just getting by. We're just money in, money out, money in, money out. Just like so many of you, we're just getting through it. And the travel channel was plummeting, with the ratings were just falling off the table because nobody was traveling. It was grim. We had no idea, would there be a vaccine? how long would it take? We were told years. We were told 2 to 4 years
Yeah.
for a vaccine to be created. And we're thinking, oh my God, how are we going to make it? Am I going to have to get a part-time job at a 7-Eleven or something on the side, make a few bucks? I mean, what do we have to do? And I didn't have this channel. Didn't have this channel 2 years ago, and created it. And the first 6 months of this channel, it did nothing. It had 800 subscribers. It was getting 500 views a video. I just kept making videos and videos. I talked about Elon Musk and Tesla. I made videos about Apple. I made videos about GameStop. I talked about how the market used to be and all this sort of stuff. And then in January this past year, I was getting so many requests, private requests. Can you explain how this works? Can you tell me how that works? Can you do? And I was at the same time studying how the markets were evolving. And I did videos about how this changed the world for trading. I started doing videos about platform trading. And I started to talk to you folks out there about how you're changing the world by trading stock from your home with $500, $1,000. There were hundreds of millions of you out there who were doing this,
A slice.
changing the world completely in the investment world, complete change. And when the CNBC guys, I pointed the TV over here, when the CNBC guys started poo-pooing you people and started knocking you down, calling you guys
Stupid money.
stupid money,
Yeah.
the dumb money.
Yeah.
You were called dumb money. You were called the last to know investors. You were called the gamblers with no plan. You were given every slanderous comment could be given by every one of those CNBC people except Kramer. Kramer was the only one, and David Faber quickly turned with him, realized, no, you're right, Jim. You're right that this is a force that is to be reckoned with, and I don't know how long this force is going to be around because this was again a year and a half ago. But last January, the force began to show, and the force came to the fore. Stood up, and the force has been here ever since. And may the force be with you forever. But I tell you, Jim got it. I got it. I immediately recognized how many hundreds of millions of you are out there, not only in Canada, the USA, in the UK, all of Europe, but everywhere else, and the third world. And we haven't finished off yet. We're not done. The army that is coming into this market hasn't finished coming into this market yet. Only about a third of you are here. You think you're all here. You're not all here. There's another 2/3 of you still to come into this market. Expect that by the end of 2022 and into 2023, we'll be triple the size of the army that's here now. And it'll be the dominant force of the markets. All the hedge funds combined, all the mutual funds combined, everything will not equal the size of the army that will now dominate this market. It'll be dominated by retail. They still don't get it. They don't believe it. They're so full of themselves, these big players. They think they're king crap, and they are just crap. They're not king of anything. They have no idea how powerful you people are going to become because you are constantly putting money into the market. You are religiously putting money into the market every month. You're adding 300, 500, 1,000, whatever it is. And there will be 2 more for every one of you already out here. There'll be triple the number of you doing this from around the planet. And it's going to be so exciting, and it's going to be so earth-shaking. The future it hasn't even started yet. I promise you, I tell you, I see it coming. It's happening month after month. Why is Robinhood not out of business? Why are these guys still in business? They should be out of business. Their plan doesn't work. They don't have a functional business plan. They can't make money enough to pay their expenses doing what they're doing. Why are they still here? Why? Because they're still adding accounts. It doesn't sound like it. They're losing people to other platforms, but I can guarantee you they will keep growing. Overall, they're going to keep growing, and they'll figure out ways to make money on how to make money. They'll figure that out.
To make us forget that they hijacked accounts.
That they suspended trading, and that the SEC did butkus about it. Absolutely nothing. Yeah. And what have the courts done? Nothing. Because the courts are not going to do anything because these judges, they know, how did I get this job? I was appointed. I was appointed through the Senate. I'm not going to rule against these guys. Are you kidding me? No, not going to happen. No, it's the fault of the retail investor. That's the fault of everything wrong with this market. It's the fault of the retail investor. Why? Because that's what the hedge funds said. And that's what the pension funds said. And that's what mutual funds said. They said it was you. And guess who funds the super PACs? It's not you. You don't fund the super PAC. They fund the super PAC. And who else funds the super PACs big time? The investment banks of the United States, the big boys. They fund the super PACs. They pack the Senate. They pack the House of Representatives. They pack the committees with their friends and people. And ultimately, who runs the SEC? Who are all the secondary people? Choice of Wall Street. And Wall Street likes it the way it is. But the problem is that Wall Street is losing control of this market to you guys, soon to be triple the size. Miss Jen?
You're just ranting like a grumpy old
Oh,
man.
I'm ranting away like crazy because it's the 27th and it's a slow week, and I've had 3 days to think about it. I got 3 days of ranting all piled up.
3 hot tubs thinking about it.
Three. Well, I don't know if I did three. Did I do two? Maybe
2 hot tubs.
I did two. Right?
Yes.
Took a day off, but yeah, it's been an interesting time. Thank you, everybody, for being here so much. You've changed our lives completely. Wouldn't be here without you. We would not be down here if it were not for you guys. We wouldn't have sold our house. We would still be up there.
We would have sold our house.
Yeah, I guess we would have. We would have taken the
have sold the
chance to
house.
go back to Calgary and
Yeah.
just be renters in an apartment, and we would have stepped back. We would have stepped
Do you know
back to
in
Calgary.
Edmonton today, which is our capital city
Yes,
in Alberta,
180 miles north of Calgary.
it's minus 37
Oh my God.
temperature. That's without wind.
All right, minus 37 Celsius is almost minus 40, and minus 40 Celsius is minus 40 Fahrenheit. That's where the two scales
Kinda
meet
meet.
each other.
Yeah.
So it's 40 below Fahrenheit, it's 40 below Celsius. That's what Edmonton is
And it's just
right now.
come in so quickly that
Bad. Of
all
course,
those farm animals, they got to live in the
they're in the barn.
stables for a while.
They're in the barns. Yeah, they're in the stables. Yeah, they're fat. They're covered. But yeah, no mosquitoes.
Not
No
no
grasshoppers. No flies.
No.
Got that problem solved
that's
for now.
right. Those
But you know
grasshoppers
what?
are good.
They survive 40 below, and next spring they're back.
They're back.
It's incredible. How do they do that?
Those little birds.
How does little birds come back from all this? How do they do
big
that?
birds, yeah.
The big birds. How do they do that? I don't. You think we're tough? We're nothing.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
chump change compared to these species. Unbelievable. How do they survive? It's amazing.
No.
It's crazy. What am I going to have today?
Well, it is Monday.
Oh, I think grape jelly. It's
Is
a
it
grape jelly day.
day?
It's just got to be. I haven't had grape jelly for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll
then
do that.
I'll do a grape jelly.
Thank you, Jen, so much. Thank you. One thing hasn't changed. I still love the bagels. I gotta tell you. But folks, without you guys, we wouldn't have been here. We wouldn't be down here. There's no way. We'd be stuck in Calgary in an apartment, as cheap as possible, driving our old 11-year-old car, just trying to make it. And we would have been grateful to dump the house for some equity, and then we would move back to Calgary and just hunker down and preserve as much as we can, as long as we can, and try to find ways to make a go of it. Jennifer might have had to go back to work. I may have had to, would have found some part-time work here and there just to kind of make a few bucks. But this has changed everything. Absolutely, completely changed our lives. We've got everything in storage in Calgary. Whatever we had left, we got rid of everything else. We dumped off anywhere from 5 to 25-year-old crap. We got rid of it, gave it away. Literally, some went into the dump. Some stuff could not give away. Some stuff you had to throw it away. Just said goodbye to a lot of garbage, and we're down to a 10 by 15-foot storage unit for everything we own. And we're living out of suitcases right now, and we're now traveling down here. We're here for 2 more months, for January, February. Thankfully, we found a condo for 2 more months here in this complex, and we'll figure out in March what we're going to do next. We have no idea, because you tell me what's going to happen in the next 60 days. Could you have told me 60 days ago this is exactly what was going to happen with the variants and stuff? We didn't know what Omicron a month ago. Had no idea what it was. Wow, the world is changing quickly, isn't it? That's crazy. Anyway, thank you, everybody. Sofi is up 3 cents, 15.12. Go Sofi, go. We're up 3 cents on Matterport. We're up 7.5 cents on ATIP, and we're up 38 cents on Sextera. 12.46 on Sextera. The all-time high for Sextera is 12.48, and we're now at 12.46 on 38,590 shares. That's it. setting all-time record highs for Cyxtera trading on their shares. Unbelievable. Smart Rent is down 1 penny, about to go green. Spire down only 7 cents. ME down only a nickel. Matterport turned green, up 14 cents. GameStop still down 6.34. Look at Thomas. We got a new member here in this old man's rant. Thomas has decided to join this channel. I must set something right. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate this. All of you who are joining this channel despite my ranting and raving and complaining, I thank you. Thank you so much. We're up 140 on the Dow. We're up 36 on S&P. We're up 144 on NASDAQ. So we're doing all right. Appreciate all of you for being here, hanging out with me today, and tolerating the old man as he just talks and talks and talks. What can I say? Steady Mystic is saying, I just bought my first option, Spire, January 30, 2023 at 165. Did I do it right? Well, you know what? What contract did you buy? What strike price is it? Did you buy a 5, a 250? What's the exercise price? Is it a 3? That would help. That would $3. Okay, $3. All right, you did all right. You're buying a $3 contract on Spire for 165. So 70 cents in the money, and you have until January 2023. I like that. Yes, I do like that. I recommend all of you consider this as a pretty good move. I would recommend that as a very good move. Yes, we're going green here on a bunch of our stocks, looking better here. So I'm happy to see that. Thank you all for being here. It's great to see you. Let's see. Yeah, Thomas. I what happened? I've been a member here for like 7-8 months. Oh, good stuff. So he's re-upped. Thank you, Thomas, for re-upping. I love it. It never tells me that when I see it. I just see new member, and it doesn't tell me how long. So I'm glad you're here and you're back. I love you. Thank you, buddy. All righty, fantastic. Bruce, do you think that the insiders are buying chunks of Cyxtera over the last 2 weeks in anticipation of an announcement? The movement based on volume is pretty interesting. Why would investors buy a stock like Cyxtera and run it up to 12.48 today? And then yesterday, a couple days ago, it was at 12.20, and last week it was 12.11, something like new highs, new all-time highs, not like just new 52-week highs, new all-time highs when we're trading less than a couple 100,000 a day. Why would this be happening day after day after day after day? Why? Because people are stupid? Nope, that's not the answer. That's not the answer. Some of you skeptics might say, because they're idiots. That's why they're... Nope, that's not the answer. Nope, there's something else. Yeah, there's a reason why Cyxtera with 40,000 volume is hitting all-time record highs. Look at the ATIP up 8.9 cents to 338. We'll take that. Spire only down a nickel now. ME down 6. Matterport 23.36 up 14. Sofi up 4. Rocket Lab down a nickel. Smart Rent still down only a penny a share to 10.09. There's signs of life here, kids. There's signs of life. Maybe we can work on it. Thomas is saying my subscription didn't renew this month. Kind of weird stuff. Some of you who are members of this channel are automatic renew. You have an automatic renewal function pressed somewhere somehow. I don't know how this works. I haven't joined my own channel. I just created. And then others of you have to renew every month, or you've chosen to be asked, would you like to renew every month? Is he worthy of another month or not? So, whichever way it works for you, I thank you all who are just doing this. I appreciate it. Bruce, could you get Jennifer's thoughts on the Cowboys win over Washington? You know what we did last night? We were watching the beginning of this game because we were having dinner just around the second quarter. And we were chewing away, and the Cowboys are just running away with it already. And Jennifer and I were talking about Al Michaels. We were going, Al's getting up there, isn't he? And so we Googled Al Michaels. He's 77 years old, sounding great. Noticing lately that he doesn't do every game anymore. He seems to just do the Western Continental games only. He doesn't go to the East anymore. Maybe COVID is, he doesn't want to travel to the east too far away from home. I don't know. I had heard years ago, I had been given the impression, I don't know where I heard this. I can't prove it. I can't disprove it. But I believe Al Michaels is flown to the game site by NBC via private jet, from NBC's, arsenal of dollars. And why not? And of course, he is protected as much as humanly possible against getting the virus. And I'm sure that Chris Collingsworth is also looked after, and people around them. They're in a bubble. Yeah, I'm sure they try to have this traveling bubble of protection. And why not? But I hear rumors that this is his last year calling Sunday night, and that his contract is up, and that he is actively negotiating a new contract for, it might be like a 1-year deal, maybe 2 years, with Amazon, because Amazon owns Thursday Night Football coming up, where it used to be Fox. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, they no longer will do Thursday night games. They did their last game last week. That was the last Thursday night game on Fox for NFL. Starting next season, Thursday night games on Amazon Prime, through Amazon. And the story goes that Troy Aikman is being considered as a color man, and Al Michaels would be the play-by-play man. That is the talk. Now, Chris Collingsworth, the story goes that he'll stay on Sunday Night Football on NBC, that they have to bring in a new announcer into NBC. Now, that could be Tirico, or someone else. Now, the other thing I read, because once I got into this rabbit hole, I kept going, and I found this fascinating. Did you know? Do you know that the highest paid sports broadcaster on American television is Tony Romo? Did you know that? $18 million a year. He signed a 10-year contract with who did he sign that with? CBS. Signed a 10-year contract with CBS, $18 million a year, with a $10 or $20 million signing bonus. It was huge to lock him up. Jim Nantz, $10.5 million a year minimum. He's locked up with CBS. Troy Aikman was getting $7.5 million a year. Now he's in new negotiations. Al Michaels, $6 to $10 million a year was the talk. We never know. And perks and what have you. What the deal going to be forward with Amazon, I do not know. Joe Buck, $10 million a year, but he does baseball and football. Busy man. What's going to happen? I don't know. Will he be doing Sunday Fox telecasts and who knows what? Just talking about Al Michaels and Troy Aikman and Tony
Chris
Romo and Chris Collingsworth and all these contracts and all these dollars. And I was thinking about this last night, that you got Tony Romo at $18 million a year. You got Jim Nantz at $10.5 million a year. So that's $18.5 million, $28.5 million a year for those two guys. How many games do they do a year?
Game of the week.
20? Like 20 a week? A year? 20 games. 20 games, $28 million. $1.4 million a game. Think about that.
Now they do stuff when we're not watching.
Yeah. But the budget for the yes. network comes out to $1.4 million a game for them to call the game from the booth up there.
Yeah.
Think about that amount of money. Okay, you can divide it by quarter if you want, and you can, and then there's the halftime crew.
The other 30 crew.
You got the personalities on the field. You got, I think, one or two on the field, on each side of the field. Mm-hmm. So you have those people. Then you have the crew, and the trucks and the equipment and yeah.
The soundmen and the directors.
$3 million a broadcast. $4 million costs you. How much money are they bringing in per broadcast? Think about how valuable your eyeballs are to CBS every week, and then to NBC and to Fox each game, right? But CBS, their budget for those two guys and that crew around those guys, $4 or $5 million a game. They got to bring in more than that in advertising to pay for it all and make any money.
And they do.
And because they don't only make the $5 million for the crew, they also had to pay the NFL a fee to broadcast the game. I mean, that's on top of these guys. I mean, just the billions of dollars that are exchanged between network and sports leagues, and then the networks to broadcast to you and I. How valuable are your eyeballs to this now. It's incredible. I just find it amazing,
Yeah.
And I'm yapping right now to 504 people who are going, give us quotes. And I'm surviving off of you guys, and I don't get Tony Romo money.
Nobody gets Tony Romo.
Nobody gets Tony Romo money. I love Tony Romo. I'm happy for him. I'm happy that
He's really good on color.
His career ended the way it ended due to injury, like many football players' careers do. He's just like anyone else. He's human, and he's found his future. And God bless him for it. And he's fun. He's fun. And, he's welcome into my living room.
And he calls the plays.
And he
now,
knows.
Being a Stiller fan, not a big Tony Romo fan.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy their broadcasts. I've always liked Jim Nantz. Yeah, and Jim and Tony are very good together.
Jim Nantz, the gold standard with Al Michaels.
Tony's right 99% of the time. He'll say, "Oh, they're lining up like this. It's going to be they're doing this. They're doing that.
This is a screen. They're going to run a screen."
And that's what happens.
Yep.
And Jim will just say, "Oh, you're right again."
He's right again. He's calling. He said, "Oh, this is a classic quarterback sneak." Ben Roethlisberger, he's going to sneak it in. He's going to sneak it in he did.
Ben, who last did a quarterback sneak, like, I don't know, 5 years ago. And then he did it the next play, too. That was awesome.
It's incredible. He knows his stuff, Tony.
Yeah. He can recognize the plays. He's a quarterback.
If you were to ask Tony, one-on-one, privately, "Hey, Tony, let me ask you this question. Are you really worth $18 million a year?" He'd go, "Are you kidding me? No way. I do this for free. I do this for nothing."
When Ben got his new contract, they broke it down that the previous year he would have been paid something like $38,000 for every pass. They throw a ball. So you know what that means? When your child is born, you put a ball in her hand.
You got a little girl, show her how to throw a baseball.
That's right.
A football. Yeah.
Hockey puck. Here's a stick.
Here's a hockey puck and a stick. Go shoot at the net. We'll buy you one. You got a little boy in your house? Give him a football. Give him a baseball.
Here's your Jennifer's difference of boys and girls. Okay. We had a store that sold the little play hockey sticks that people put up on their bar for decoration and things like that.
2 foot long plastic sticks.
Just little sticks that said your favorite hockey team on them. If you gave one to a 3-year-old girl, she would put it down on the ground and pretend to hit a puck with it, or we'd put a ball down and she'd hit the ball with it. If you gave it to a little boy, he'd hit somebody with it. It never failed.
Never fails.
You're like, yeah, there it is. Right
2 minutes for slashing.
There's a difference between little boys and little girls. Yeah.
Oh my God. We had to, literally, when we sold these little mini sticks, we had to display them up high enough, like 6 feet off the ground.
Oh yeah, you couldn't let them touch them themselves.
You couldn't let a child near them. No.
They'd be out there like a scythe, just reaping the field. Yeah.
No can do. Yeah.
Enjoy your bagel.
Oh,
it looks good today.
I am. This is so good.
Some days they come out really nicely, and this is one of those days.
I'm trying to chew and get the stocks to go up. Sofi's up 7 cents. Come on.
Oh, they're going to go up because they weren't down very far. They're just doing their morning, thing. You got to get out of bed and stretch and look around the room and scratch, and then you get back to work. That's what they're doing.
So sooner or later, even in our day, we'd have our Christmas holiday. We would get our New Year's Eve break.
Yes.
And then we'd be back at work.
Yeah.
And then reality would set in. Oh, shoot.
We don't have another holiday till Easter.
That was one. The second revelation was we're broke. We have no money. We got to make rent money for January, and we better get going here. Oh, and those credit cards have been kind of lifted up there. We better knock those off now. So,
did people have a nice holiday?
I don't know. I haven't read a single comment from people this morning.
Yeah.
Oh well, actually, I have read a few, but it's been me just ranting and ranting and
Ah.
ranting and ranting. And
Well, stay warm out there, people, and stay out of the snow. A 20-car pile up on the High Sierra.
Nevada.
Wasn't it going through the High Sierra in Nevada where we hit the hailstorm?
It goes from rain to hail to sleet to snow.
Well, when you're up high, there's nothing to stop it.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So, yeah, a 20-car
Yikes.
pile up. That's not good.
That's not a good thing.
Up to 31 inches of snow. all from Idaho down California.
Well, we heard the word that there would be areas of the High Sierras that would get 10 feet of snow.
Yeah.
Usually it's on the top of mountains, but we build highways through mountains, around them, and some of them are pretty high up.
And they get pretty slick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's passes up there. I don't remember seeing if like the passes in BC. There are gates that they can close off the highway.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing if there were gates. What is that? What is that? The
Donner Pass and
5 or whatever that. What's that highway that we took?
Yeah, well, there's the 15 was the one we came down on, but no, they wouldn't do that. I don't remember gates closing off. They probably have the state troopers just close it off. But
right.
I do remember there's a highway through Idaho that we would go occasionally. I would use it in the summertime, not in the winter. Although I have done a winter drive through there. It goes through Moscow, goes through Lewiston, Moscow, and through McCall, something like that, or McCall Lake. Beautiful area up there, but it's way up there in elevation, and there were gates before and after that town where there were times where you cannot go through here. I luckily didn't run into that, but I did see the snow on the side of the road piled up.
Yeah, just like postcards,
15, 20 feet.
You'd see a sign, and then you'd see 2 feet of snow just sitting nice and quiet up on top of it.
Or on top of a fence post.
Yeah, fence post.
You get like a foot and a half of snow on top of a fence post.
Because there's no wind.
No wind. The snow would just fall down and accumulate up.
Yeah.
And you're just driving along a road, and every fence post has a foot and a half of snow on it. Yeah. It's beautiful, but intimidating.
It's
you come
prettier for walking than driving through.
And you come through these little towns with these highly slanted roofs, angled roofs, that are covered in 3 feet of snow. Just the weight of the snow on top of these structures. Of course, they're designed to handle it.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Even so.
Yeah.
You have these gutters that they build into those roofs. So you can get out there with your snow rake, and you just have to pop into it. You just have to get in and disturb it. And
the whole thing slides off.
Yeah.
There's some really good YouTube videos about snow removal, like in Norway, Sweden, Finland, and certain places.
Even where we were in BC, we'd get a lot of snow, and then it would warm up and the snow would start to melt enough to now start hanging over the eaves, and it would be like ribbons of snow hanging off the eaves trough. And you just please don't let me be under it when it falls. You got to get out there. You got to get out there with the rake.
It's heavy. It'll kill you. It's heavy.
No matter how pretty it is.
No matter how pretty. How many people die of avalanches every year? It's incredible. It's a killer.
Yeah.
Snow can do you in.
Our daughter was walking on the street in downtown Calgary when the woman in front of her got hit in the head with an icicle.
Not good.
Not good. It's like being hit with a knife falling on your head.
Or a baseball bat from 4 stories up. Not good.
You got to get out there and clear off those icicles.
Mm-hmm.
But they called 911 and she stayed with the poor woman until the ambulance came.
Unbelievable.
That close. She was 4 steps away.
4 steps away. You never know.
Look up.
Always
looking up.
Keep your eye open. Thank you, Jen.
You're welcome.
All right.
Don't be grumpy.
Don't be grumpy. I'm not trying to be grumpy.
Is that because you're wearing a black shirt? You're grumpy?
Sometimes the world is black and white. Sometimes it's as simple as black and white.
Sometimes
you're in the red, losing money. Sometimes you're in the black, you're making money.
There you go.
Some people think it's red and green. I'm in the green. But no, I'm in the black. Black Friday.
From
Yeah,
the accounting days.
making money. Yeah, counting days.
You're writing in black, you're writing in red. Yeah.
Simple as that.
Debits and credits.
Debits and credits, baby. Debits and the credits, and the credits and the debits. Okay, welcome. Thank you for hanging around with me, folks, and tolerating me today. I'm in fine form, I guess. It's nice to see you here. Thank you guys for tolerating me today. As always, as you always do, it's so nice to see all the familiar faces here today who are with us today. If you've never been here before, I'm Uncle Bruce. I'm a former stockbroker. I was a stockbroker in '79. I tried to become a broker starting in '78 by taking the securities courses as a private investor. Started investing in '78, became a broker in '79. By 1981, I was a partner in a small two-man brokerage firm that ended up becoming a 10-man brokerage firm by the time I left the firm. Then I became a desk trader and eventually a branch manager and vice president of a national brokerage firm in Canada, out of Calgary, Alberta. And at one time, I had an office of 40 staff or so, 25 salespeople and 15 support staff. Held the VP license, and then I decided that's not enough fun. Let's take a company public. And I took a company public with a good buddy of mine, which took about 3 years. It was a sort of a step-by-step progression. He and I created a little publishing company, built it up to a certain point, raised capital from seed capital from investors. Then I left the brokerage business completely and went full time into this venture. And in a year, we raised enough capital and then seed capital, and then took our company public. At that time, this would be 1989, 90. We listed a little company on the Alberta Stock Exchange, and ran that for a few years. Eventually found that the business that we had created and we had nurtured and we had brought along had run its course, and we really couldn't do much more with it unless we got millions of dollars of capital, which was impossible at that time to get. So we ended up spinning off our little publishing thing back into a private corp, and we ended up with a publicly traded shell corporation that we then packaged up and ended up transferring to a group of guys who had an oil and gas company that was well financed. And all of our shareholders who were originally shareholders in our venture were now shareholders in this little oil and gas outfit that quickly made them all kinds of money. And we were so pleased and relieved because the markets were tough, and we had gone through all kinds of crap, including the Gulf War, the invasion of Kuwait by Saddam Hussein. That didn't help matters. But thankfully, our investors all benefited from this move where my partner and I, we exited out of the public company and brought this new group in to take it on, and it worked out for everybody. I unfortunately didn't make any money out of it. I had to give up all my stock, as did my buddy, and so we were able to walk down the street in Calgary for years after and not be accused of ripping off people. We had a lot of people who loved us, but I was still living in an apartment in downtown Calgary. But it was an experience that one never forgets. But anyway, ended up in the Cayman Islands a few years later as an offshore asset manager, and really enjoyed that, and did that for a good decade with a business partner of mine who was a lawyer in Canada. And that was a unique experience, and learning the market from a whole new angle. I had also, in the meantime, had been a manager, a vice president and license holder for a mutual fund company. So I had a lot of angles, a lot of experience over the years in my lifetime from the markets, many different angles. And after the Cayman thing and all that offshore stuff, ended up back in Calgary, Canada, and Jennifer and I ended up buying my mother's house. My mother was getting on; she needed to enter a senior center to be looked after properly, and we found a really nice one for her. She was really happy, and worked out very well. And her home now was. We tried to sell it, couldn't sell it. Had it renovated, and still couldn't sell it. So Jennifer and I, we bought it, had it appraised, and made an arrangement to acquire it, and lived in Creston, British Columbia. And that's where I met you folks. Starting in 2017, I created a YouTube channel right in the living room in Creston, British Columbia, talking about traveling with Bruce. And by 2020, created a second channel, Stock Markets with Bruce. And this is how I'm here. And we sold our house back in August, moved back to Calgary September into a hotel room for a couple of weeks, and we ended up here in Palm Desert, which was the master plan to be here in October. We've been here since October. We're going to be here now to the end of February in Palm Desert, California. We're loving every minute of it. All of our stuff's in storage. And the plan after that, we don't know. We don't know what happens March 1 yet. But we'll come up to that. We'll figure that out in the next month or so. Plenty of time. We're on the fly because the world is on the fly. Everything is on the fly. I'm sure all of you are on the fly right now. You don't know what you're going to do in the next 6 months, next year, because this whole world is just changing at light speed. And, things have really evolved quickly compared to what we ever thought it was going to be. It's exciting stuff. And I thank you all for being here and hanging out with me and with Jennifer, watching the markets as I try to explain them in plain English as best I can. I can tell you that the Dow is up 185 points. In plain English, that's pretty good. We're up a half a point. This is the fourth day in a row of gains. S&P is up 41, and the NASDAQ looks like it's up 163. NASDAQ is up 165, up a 1.06%. The S&P is up almost 9%, and the Dow's up 0.53%. So we got a good market going here. This market turned around last week. I think Monday was a terrible day. We were down 700 points by midday last Monday, but by the end of it, we were down 430, I think it was, or 460, something like that. We'd come back almost 300 points. And then Tuesday, we continued the rise, and we gained, I think, over 500 on Tuesday, which eliminated the loss from Monday to be up on the week. And Wednesday we went up again, and Thursday we went up again, and now here we are Monday, because we were closed on Friday. We're up again, and so the Dow now has gained 1,300 points, 1,200 points from the low of a week ago. We are now 350 points away from a new all-time high on the Dow Jones Industrials, and we're going to hit a new all-time high. I don't know if it's this week. It looks like it. It sure indicates to me like it's going to happen. There is so much cash that is now going into 2022 investments. All the stock being bought now, today, is for 2022 calendar year taxation reasons. And this amount of money that's on the sidelines is staggering. It's trillions of dollars with a T. Trillions of dollars are coming into the markets systematically, nonstop, relentlessly. $1 trillion coming into this market this year will be from corporations buying their own stock back. That's the first trillion. A second trillion will be coming in from investors, hedge funds, mutual funds, pension funds, because they earn all this income from dividends and interest payments on all these debts. They have to put the money into something else, and they put it into T-bills, bonds, preferred stock, and the market itself. And that's $1 trillion more. And then there's you guys. There are around the world hundreds of millions of people, if not billions of investors, probably a couple now, that are beginning to start self-trading. And soon there will be over 2 billion people self-trading their own accounts. The Wall Street guys just they don't recognize it yet. I don't think they fully believe it. They don't buy into it yet. They're saying, you're dreaming. You're talking 10 years from now. I'm saying no. I'm talking a year from now, because this world has completely changed on a dime with this COVID thing. And this is happening at light speed. And another $1 trillion minimum will come into this market. Fresh cash. These markets are going to go higher. And the good news is stocks like Apple and Microsoft and others, they earn way more money every quarter than they earned a year ago at the same time. And so their shares go up in value. They have a 32 multiple time earnings. When they reach their peak, their earnings come out and they reassess the numbers and go, we're back to 23 times earnings. And then the stocks run back up into the low 30s, and the new earnings come out, huge earnings, and reassess, recalculate the last 4 quarters, take out the quarter from a year ago, add the quarter we just had, recalibrate the numbers, we're back to 22, 23 times earnings. This is happening year after year after year and quarter after quarter after quarter right now. This is what's been going on here. And the stock market is competing against the bond market for your money, for your investment money. And you have a simple question to ask yourself. Do you want to put money into your bank account, in a savings account in your local town, and get paid 1/4 of 1% interest for the next year, 0.5% interest, maybe a year? For a 5-year deal, you might get 1% interest, like they have promotions. Or you want to buy stock in Apple and get a 2% yield now, that in a company that grows their dividend every year. Do you want to buy into Amazon? Do you want to buy into Goldman Sachs? Do you want to buy into Bank of America? You want to buy into AT&T? You want to buy into IBM? There are dozens, hundreds, thousands of stocks you can buy that pay a dividend. And these companies have this cash coming at them, and they're using some of the cash for dividends and the other cash for growing the business, and some of the cash to buy back stock. And so investors are going, I'm buying stock. Are you kidding me? I'm not gonna put money in the bank at 1/4 point. What am I going to lose money to inflation? Inflation is 6-7%. I'm going to get a 1/4% interest, 1% interest. I'm losing 6% on inflation. What am I, nuts? No, I'm not going to do that. I'll buy Apple. I'll do what Bruce says. I'll do what Bruce is talking about. I'll buy stock in Apple or others, and I'll write contracts against them on top of the dividend. I'll go one step further. They say I'm going to take 40 grand, and instead of buying 100 shares of Goldman Sachs for about 40 grand, I'm going to buy 5 call options to maybe 8 call options on Goldman Sachs, between 5 and 8, for the 40 grand that I've got. I'm going to buy deep in the money call options, good till next year, maybe March, April, May. And I'm going to drop 40 grand. Instead of getting 100 shares, I'm going to get 800 shares through contracts. I'm going to buy 8 contracts, and I'm going to write 8 contracts, short-term option contracts, against those 8 calls, rather than 1 call contract against 100 shares that I bought for $40,000. That is 8 times the income coming in on option premium on a poor man covered call that Bruce taught me in lesson number 8 on his website. Lesson number 8. I'm going to do that rather than buy 100 shares and write 1 contract at a time. I'm going to write 8 contracts at a time. And I'm going to take control of my life, and I'm going to get away from this cubicle I've been stuck in, or this so-called cubicle of life that I've been stuck in with this job, and I'm going to totally change my life. That's what I'm going to do. And that's what's happening. Folks here are buying SPACs that used to be SPACs, companies used to be SPAC, writing them into the 20s and starting to write contracts. Right now, Matterport is a classic example. We've already had it happen on Sofi a couple of times. We'll have it happen again. And there'll be others. We have Rocket Lab coming our way. I think we have, eventually we're going to have Sixtera, SmartRent, and 23andMe. They're all going to reach the 20s and plus. But, some are sooner than others. Some are slower than others. Nonetheless, between that and Apple and Microsoft and Cisco and other stuff, we can do poor man covered call writing as well. And we can become self-employed, not having to have a job with a full-time corporation anymore. And a lot of you are figuring out, I'm working part-time. That's the first step I'm going to make. I'm going to go from a full-time job that I hate to a part-time job I hate, or a part-time job I like, or doing what I want when I want, part-time. And I'm going to play the market in the meantime. And I'm going to write call options, and I'm going to bring income in on top of the dividend income I've been bringing in. I'm going to change my life. And a lot of you who out there who are retired, you've retired years ago, or you are 45, 50, and you're sitting on thousands of shares of stock that you have earned through these weekly deductions, through your paycheck, monthly deductions where they match you and all this stuff. And you've acquired stock in companies like, I've talked to people who work at like American Airlines, Peloton, I think Intel, and I think I've had people who've worked at Microsoft, and people who work all kinds of public companies. And you've earned hundreds of shares, if not thousands of shares, through your employee plans over decades. You are now figuring out, oh my God, I can write options on these shares. I just have to reorganize my accounts and how I control these stocks. I have to take control of them now. I can write options on these blocks of stock that I've earned, that my wife and I have earned over the decades. And they figured out quickly that if I just do what Bruce is telling us in lessons number 1, 2, 3, and 4, we can bring in more money from option writing, like really conservative option writing, more money coming in than we're getting paid in pension money. Hello? Yeah, this is what's going on. Go to my website, stockmarkerswithbruce.ca, check the classes out and figure it out. Start watching these classes. They cost you $100 to watch a class. There's 10 of them. Watch all of them. Watch one, watch two, watch five, whatever you want. Watch in what order, whatever order you want. It's a la carte pricing. It's $100 a class. Each class is about 2 hours. Give it an investment. Figure this out. Change your life. And let's get going. That's what's happening here. These comments, so many of these folks who are commenting here, Beach Boy, Anti-PC, Nicholas, I Smell Money, a ton of them, Rico, they're all here. A ton of these folks have started to write call options. They never would have thought about this a year ago. They didn't know it existed, many of these folks. It's been an eye-opener, an absolute eye-opener. It's like opening the curtain to the Wizard of Oz and seeing this little man pull these levers, making these great things happen. You too can be the Wizard of Oz of your life. You can take control of your existence and get out of this crap world that you found yourself stuck in, that are dominated by others above you. It's time to get out from underneath. SoFi's up 20 cents, 15.29. Talk about getting out from underneath. We're at 15.29 on SoFi, the high of the day right now. We're moving 8.3 million. Let's go, baby. Let's go. We're down a dime on Rocket Lab. GameStop still down 6.28 to 145.86. Matterport down 25 cents. We've got ME down 7. We got Spire down 13. ATIP up 3.5. SmartRent up 23 cents to 10.33. We have Cyxtera 12.43 up 35 cents. The high today 12.50 today on Cyxtera. New all-time high 67,000 shares. How high will Cyxtera go? SmartRent, good to see it back over 10. Would really like to see it break 20. Come on, you guys. Let's go. ATIP, like I said, up 3.5. Spire, it just kills us. It has great days, quiet days, big moves, little moves. We're looking for a coordinated buy wave to come into Spire. It wouldn't take much, and this stock could be $7, $8, like nothing. And that would turn this channel on its head, because there are folks with averages here between $3 and $5 each. On gazillions of this stuff. We own this, baby. We are going to own Spire. And I got to tell you, when this thing blows, it really makes this channel wealthy. These folks are going to make a lot of money here. It's going to be great. Can't wait for this. Matterport, 23.40, up 18. Come on, Matterport. You can do more. SoFi, 15.31. New high of 15.33. Climbing nicely on the SoFi. We're looking forward to reach back into the 25s, because we got a whole bunch of folks that will write options on this stuff. And away we go. Thank you, everybody. Pickcomb says, I'm glad I bought 100 more under 15. Scooping this stuff. Yeah, baby. Oh, wow. Yay, SoFi really started in these rocket engines getting started, says I Smell Money. Buckle up, kids. Buckle up. Anti-PC, me too. Pickcomb, 14.89. I got it. Pickcomb, I'm averaging down. I'm Dorothy, says Anti-PC, because there's no place like home. There you go. GameStop is pooping, says Frumbler. How high will SoFi go? You know, this would be a good week for a bank charter. I'm calling it 12.30. Wouldn't that be nice? Is it pooping or popping? Anti wants to know. T-Bone, hey, Uncle Bruce, what do you think about the idea of writing GameStop January 28th for 2022 expiry, 135 call at 30.90? Is this a good or bad move? I'm a newbie. What do you think about writing an in-the-money call on GameStop at 135, but bringing in almost $31? So I'm good until the end of January on this, they're saying. It's a month. If the shares close right where they are, at 145, this contract is only worth $10, and I get to keep the 21, because I'm getting almost $31 writing this thing. Do you think this is a good idea? See, if the shares go higher, say they go up to 150, for example, the contract will be worth $15. I get to keep $16, because I can buy it back for $15 and keep the 16. The stock goes to 160, then the contract is worth $25. I get to keep $6. I mean, I still win if it goes up. But what do you think about doing it? Well, this morning on the opening would have been a good move, obviously, in hindsight, because, hindsight is always 2020. Sitting at 146 right now, I wouldn't be that interested in pulling the trigger on this trade. because I think that the shares can pop between now and the end of this week. I think that we're about to come out of the last of the tax loss selling, and that takes any sell pressure away on this stock. And I think we go higher. I just don't think the stock will go lower. Now, can I guarantee that? No, of course not. I can't guarantee that, but I'm kind of reading it on a gut level. 146 here, kind of cheap. There's people nibbling up, I'm sure, on this stock right now. Volume 883,000. It's not like heavy volume here, but there's some people picking up stock on GameStop today, scooping it up and saying thank you for the discount. I kind of wonder if it got back into the 150-55 range. If you were then to look at a 135 or a 140 call, you'd move up your strike a little bit more. You might get enough of a premium. I understand that this is attractive, but you got to figure this out. At 146 or so, you got to take $10 off of that or $11 off of that price. And you have to really understand, what are you really getting over and above its book value? You're getting $20 a contract. It's a $31 price on that contract right now. 11 in the money means its time value is only $20. Only. It's still very good. The question is, can you get a $20 premium, time premium, if you were to consider writing a 146 contract right now or a 150? Could you get like a $15 premium, $18 premium writing a 150? How high a premium could you get writing a Jan 22 contract, a Jan 28th expiry, 28th of January expiry 2022 on your GameStop? If you could get as good a premium as writing an in the money, maybe you're better off just writing an out of the money call for premium. Let the shares, demand the shares go up on you before you're declared DOA, missing in action. That might be the way to play this. Let me just double check on these contracts here. Right now, I'm going to go all the way up to January the 28th. There we go. There we are. Jan 28ths are right there. Okay, so the stock at the moment, the 135s, I don't show them showing a price of that price, although on the last trade I showed 30.90. I show a bid ask right now of 21 to 24. Now, that makes sense because that reflects the market now. This contract could have traded at 30.90 earlier. I don't know if you sold it or not at that price. If you did, way to go. In any event, if you were to write the 145 now or 135 right now, you would receive between 21 and 24. If you wrote 140s, you get 19 to 22. If you were to write 145s, you'd be looking at 1680 to 1930. And that's as close to at the money as we can get, 145s. So that's 16 premium to $19 premium. That's very good. That's actually very good. That's actually a better option to write than the 135, because the 135, even if you could get 22 right now, you're only getting $12 premium. You're better off writing a 145. Now, if you wanted to write a 150, a nice round number of a 150 contract, you could probably bring in between, looks like around $15 to $16. The market is $14.70 to $17.35. I would even look at a 150. A 155 will bring you about 13 to 14.50. A 160 could bring you 11.35 to 13.35. If you could bring in 12.50 on a 160 contract, I'd prefer that contract for the end of January. That's the 28th. Although I don't like being that far out on this deal. I like the premium. The thing is, though, we're talking about 4 weeks. So we're talking about 20 trading days, roughly, to get this money. And so that's a long time to wait to get $12 or so. Now, if you come in time, you come closer in. So let me take a look at maybe January the 14th, for example. You want to write a 160 for January the 14th, you'll bring in between $7.10 and $9.45. You might be able to get $8.50. But you only have to wait a couple of weeks instead of having to wait a whole month. And, if you can get $8 in 2 weeks, that's like getting $16 a month, where the other contract was $12. See what I'm saying? You're getting 8 now, plus another 8 instead of 12, period. There's more money in writing a shorter term contract. And you can resolve it a lot quicker. That's a 160. If you wrote a 150, which is $3-4 out of the money right now, you'd bring in 10.30 to 12.20. So you could probably bring in around 11.25 a contract, but you're only $4 out of the money, $3-4 out of the money. So that's close. keep in mind the stock is down right now, 463 on the day at 147.51. This is, this is not the ultimate time to write a call on games because we're down on the day. I love it when the stock has a nice pop to start the day. Then you want to write a call, and out of the money, and then dare the stock to keep coming. But sometimes it doesn't agree with you and wants to play games. Now this Friday contracts, December 31, that died on Friday. If you want to write contracts on GameStop, you can write $1 amount contracts. You can write 147s, 148s, 149s, 150s, 150, 250s, 155s, 157.50s, and 160s. So very short splits between contracts. You can write them. So if you want to write a 150 that expires this Friday, right now it's showing a $4.50 to $5 bid ask. I don't mind that kind of a premium, but I'm not crazy about it, but I don't mind it. If I could get $5 for a contract that is $250 out of the money that dies this Friday, you know what? I like the protection up to 155 here. I like that. The stock wants to give us a couple more dollars, though, and get back to the 150 range. This contract might be coming out at 6. That might be a little more appealing. On the other hand, I might then look at a 152.50 and try to get 5 for that. 250 further ahead of the market for $5 I'm getting now for the 150. 155s right now are showing 3 to 330. That's not exciting enough for me to write a 155. Although if you're conservative, you're afraid of getting taken out. You don't want to lose your stock. You don't want to go through a rollover. You might want to look at writing a 155 for this Friday. If you can bring in maybe 315, 320, 325, something like that, great. If the shares pop up a little bit here to 148, 149 again, you might get 350, 360 for those contracts. And now you're writing, now you're writing 155s that are ahead of the market a little bit. 160s will bring you 205 to 227, 165s, 142 to 173 at the moment. Not a lot of premium coming in now because we're running out of time and they're further away from the money, right? So you may have to look at next week's instead of this week's. But if you want to write this week's, if you write 148s, you can bring in $5 to $6. 149s will bring you 450 to 555. 150s will bring you 450 to 5. I like that 150 contract. I do like that. So there you are. 147.50 on GameStop, down 465. I hope that answered some questions for you. Anyway, there you have it. Gonzo says, I never stop writing Sofi calls. Just doing weekly sand rolling if they jump. There you go. Well, let's see. Yeah, I smell money. What would you have done differently to shore up your retirement account? What worked best and what would you have done? There's no single answer for this. The markets have changed so much and they keep changing that you have to alter your plan a lot. And so there is no one move here. There's just not one. A sign is saying, hey, the UBI, the Uncle Bruce Index, if you take the average price of Sofi, 23andMe, ATIP, Spire, Matterport, Cyxtera, Rocket Lab, and Smart Lab, you put them all together, it comes out to 1098. Do you all remember January the 4th, 2021? That day, the UBI was 1099. But at that time, it was all SPACs that were going to become publicly traded companies. Now they are publicly traded companies, and they're trading at the average of 1098. Isn't that interesting? He does it. Very fascinating. Enrico, Bruce, looking to write a GameStop covered call expiring this Friday. What do you think is a safe strike price? Just went into that. Let's go. You know what? If Spire hit like $10, I'd have 20 grand on a $4,000 investment. Go, baby, go. I say yes. Let's make it happen. Austin is saying, I'm 10 cents away from break even on SoFi. 1534 right now, up a quarter on SoFi. High today, 1534. You're getting closer, buddy. You're getting closer. I love it. AB, Spire hits $10, and I'm doing a lap around the house in my birthday suit, says Austin. That's what's happening here. Enrico, Brucey, I just wrote a GameStop covered call expiring this Friday. 165 strike price, 151 premium. I'll gladly take 150 a week after week. Well, there you go. There's nothing wrong with that either. Nick S is saying, Nick, how you doing, Nick? Good morning, Uncle Bruce. I'm thumbs up number 337 on your show. What have I missed? Absolutely nothing. We're only up 215 on the Dow, within 350 of an all-time high. We're up 44 on S&P, and we're up 178 on NASDAQ. I think those two markets are at all-time highs. We got Sofi hitting a high today at 15.36 now. We got Matterport up to 23.47. Would be nice to see a little more than that. Smart ran up 24, and Cyxtera hitting new all-time highs today, 12.50. Right now, 12.36. Watching some of these other stocks, like Apple is up 235 to 178.64. It's moving higher, but not incredibly aggressively. Tesla, though, 11.05, up $38. That's looking very good. I think Tesla can go even higher than this. It's looking much better. Going to look at the all-time high. The all-time high, 1243. Wouldn't be surprised by the end of the week we are closer to 1200 on the Tesla. It's looking quite all right. So that's pretty good. Goldman Sachs up 228 to 387.32. These 390s and 395 contracts might be the contracts to look at between 390 and 395 for Friday. Those might be the ones to write. Cisco, we're up $1.10 right now, 63.38. Those contracts, if you're going to write Cisco's poor man covered calls, you might want to be looking at writing 65, 66s for Friday. If there's any premium in it, keep an eye open for that, or the week after. I don't know if we're going to break through 70 quickly on Cisco. We've had a pretty good run here. You may want to cap that. Amazon is up $2. Facebook is up 11, which is a good day here. Google's up 21 right now. That's what I'm showing on some of these stocks right now. We're only down 4 cents on Rocket Lab, 11.96. 15.40 on Sofi. High of the day, 15.41. Sofi is definitely moving up on 9.18 million. Now back to 15.41. The high of the day. GameStop just broke 148. We're coming on GameStop. Nice to see. If it can keep coming on here to the 149, 150 level, it tops out there. You may want to write 55s to 160s for Friday. If it continues to run up through 150, then keep an eye at 157.50 to 160, 162s. Keep an eye open. Matterport up 24 to 23.46. 25s could be the right option to write there. Unfortunately, if I am not mistaken, I'm going to just triple check here on availability of contracts on Matterport. Matterport contracts for, see if this loads up. I'm waiting. Come on. Load up here. My iPad is slow. Okay, January. We're still only looking at monthlies. Very frustrating. January 21s, you can write Matterports. You can write 25s for 155.65. You can write 2250s that are in the money at the moment. They're about almost $1 in the money. You can write 2250s for 250, 265, where you're saying to Matterport, I think you're range bound. I think you're between 20 and 25 right now. And I have a suspicion that as you move into the 23, 24 level, I'm going to write 2250s and I'm going to dare you to go higher. But if you don't, and you back off to 22, I'm going to buy these 250s back that I'm selling for $2.50. These 2250s, I'm going to buy them back for $1 less, maybe $1.50 less. If I can make $1.25 off you, if I can sell them for $2.60 and buy them for $1.30, or sell them for $2.50 and buy them for $1.25, I'm making 50% returns on these contracts every time I write them. And I'm going to write them and write them and write them and write until you break out of this range. You might play that game. At the moment, the 2250s are 250 to 265. The stock is trading at 23.47, so there's $1 of premium there. And there's a $1.50 a book value. Am I right? Yeah, dollar book value, $1.50 premium. That's a good thing. $1.50 premium is a good thing. You might want to play that game. If you go to February, you could do the same there. You could play $3.60 to $4 contracts at the 2250s. You could write the 2250s there and bring in more premium. There, you're trying to scoop a $2 bill, $1.50, $2 bill on every trade. Again, with range-bound trades. On the 25s, you can get 270 to 295. If you could score a 290 on a $25 contract and buy them back for $1.50, there's a nice little profit. But that might take you a little bit of time because we're now dealing with Feb 18 expiry, where these January 21s, I like the idea of playing with 2250s or 25s there. Just a thought for you to think about out there. Those of you who think about writing options, that's kind of what I'm wondering about with the Sofi right now, or on the Matterport right now, excuse me. Sofi, 1533, we need a run. Rocket Lab down 6, ME down a nickel, Spire's down 14, ATIP down 3.5, Smart Rand up 24, and Cyxtera is holding a 22-cent gain at 12 1030. Smart rent at 1034. Looks like it's about the high of the day. The high was 1038 on 30,100. 30,900. Really slow volume on that one today. That's what we got going on. We're expecting a slow day today, but I got to tell you, the point gain has been good. 198 on the Dow, 42 on S&P, and Nasdaq up 172. Strong gains today. Fourth day in a row of gains. CJ English, new member. I have a feeling CJ has renewed the membership, and I thank you for that, CJ. Whether you're new or renewing, thank you for joining up today. Love it, and I'm glad you're here. T-Bone is saying, thank you, Bruce. John is saying, it's cold in Michigan. I'll even do a lap outside. Midnight says, I'm dying, man. Midnight, Matterport needs to go to bi-weekly at least. I agree. Should be weekly contracts on those. Let's go. What else is happening here? Hey, Uncle Bruce, this slow buildup on Cyxtera, low volume, is this a fuse being lit? It's going to pop $2 to $5 over the next few days soon. Kind of looks like Spire before it hit 19. AB, your guess is as good as mine. I don't know. There's certainly no tax loss selling here. I mean, anyone that's trading Cyxtera is making nothing but money. I mean, we're at all-time highs at 1250 here. So you got to think, any reasonable person would sort of suspect, do you think it's possible that there's something big happening here and there's people buying in anticipation of a big thing? Yeah, I would. I'd say that's reasonable. A reasonable suspicion was be had. Just wish it would happen. I'm more than happy to, run on this, but I got nothing, man. I see nothing. I don't know. We're just gonna wait and see. Okay, that's the frustrating part about that trade. We gotta wait it out. 1522 right now on Sofi, backing off a little bit. The Dow is still up 192. It's backing up a little bit. We're up 40 on S&P, up 158 on Nasdaq. We're at 75.78 on oil, up 199 today. And there's the dealio right there, EO. CJ, I renewed, buddy. I renewed. You are here. CJ isn't going anywhere. Beautiful. BW is saying, Uncle Bruce, so after you mentioned Tesla to 1200 by the EOW, the end of the week possible. So I poked around the options for March 22, slightly in the money, then looked at the deep in the money March calls, and some are almost $100,000 each. Holy crap. Yeah, that's right. That's right. But you're talking about an $1,100+ stock, right? You want to buy 100 shares of Tesla at $1,100, right? That's a $110,000 buy for 100 shares. You can see why contracts would be that kind of money too. Yeah, it makes sense, doesn't it? It's the stock's at another level, and so the question is, if the shares go to the 1,500 to 2,000 range, will they do another split? Wouldn't surprise me a bit if they did a 5-for-1, and they had to go back to $400 a share again. I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. Not going to happen this week. Not going to happen this month, but sometime this year, maybe next year, maybe. Unbelievable. It is incredible what's been going on there, but that is really something. Yeah, you can't, you want to buy deep in the money calls and write calls against it. a little tough to do. Quite just stunning, just quite amazing and stunning to watch that. Those kinds of dollar trading hands are just mind-numbing, just mind-numbing. Yeah, what can I tell you? It is a wild and wacky world in which we live. We're up 204 on the Dow now. We've climbed a little bit again. We're up 42 on S&P, and we're up 161 on Nasdaq. So that's looking pretty good. Gabriel, I got it. Thanks, Gabe. Got it. We're all set. We're looking good. Those of you who would like to do a one-on-one session with me, I offer one-on-one sessions on Saturdays and on Sundays. And I'm just trying to think about, can I pull this off this week? I was just thinking about this because we're moving this weekend, and I just want to make sure we're okay on timing here. Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, Saturday I'm definitely good. Sunday I should be okay on Sunday too, because I do them in the morning my time. So yes, Saturdays and Sundays. So this Saturday, this Sunday, I should be able to do one-on-ones for you. If any of you would like to have a one-on-one session with me, send me a private email right here. Send me an email. Say, hey Bruce, I'd like to book a one-on-one with you. It's $400 for a one-on-one session. I want to talk to you about. You don't have to tell me what you want to talk to me about, but cover whatever topic you want. To talk to you about your option strategies or your stock strategies, your overall investment situation, your work-life investment situation, your whatever situation you're in. More than happy to try to go over it with you. I do 3 sessions on Saturdays and Sundays. I do a session at 10 in the morning Eastern time. I do a 1-hour session at noon Eastern time, and I do a session at 2 in the afternoon Eastern time. Saturday and Sunday. Now, this Sunday, the noon hour session I think is booked up already. So I just got Sunday 10 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon. But Saturday I do have all 3 if any of you are interested. So that might be a New Year's resolution for you. Sunday the 1st or the 31st, New Year's Eve, December. I got my bearings right. No, I have not. I got them wrong. Saturday is January the 1st, and Sunday is January the 2nd. So Saturday, the 1st of January, New Year's Day, might be the resolution where you want to do a one-on-one with me. Sunday the 2nd might be the day because you need the first to recover. Who knows? But if I can help you, that would be tremendous. Okay, guys. So let me know if you want to have one. Just send me a private email at that email address and say, Bruce, I need a session with you. I got to go over my life. I got to go over 2022, and I got to figure where I'm going. There you go. AB says, hey, Bruce, your impromptu video on Sunday about stock buybacks being even more aggressive than ever in 2022. You were saying that if big tech stocks drop by 10% in 22, buy deep in the money leaps when they do. Oh, well, there's a strategy, AB. I hadn't thought of that. Sure. I mean, you could look at something like that, but you know what? You're going to buy deep in the money leaps. You could then be writing poor man covered calls against those leaps. You can do that, right? You're in the money. You can write short-term calls if you wanted to. Obviously, if you're buying deep in the money leaps when they back off, you might want to wait for them to recover a bit before you start writing call options against your leaps, right? Because you want to stay ahead of the market and not get caught with a moving market. Yeah, obviously, you get a massive sell-off of some kind. You take advantage of it, but will there be one? The amount of money that's coming into this market this first quarter of this year, I don't know if there's going to be a pull-off, a back-off at all. I really don't know if there's going to be anything like that, but it is food for thought, isn't it? That video I made Sunday without any announcement at all, just going live on Sunday, talking about the amount of money that's coming into this market. Incredible. Just the buyback money coming in. Whew. $1 trillion. $1 trillion. We thought it was impressive when we saw Apple announce we're doing a $90 billion buyback. $90 billion buyback was what Apple was talking about. $90 billion. We thought that was impressive. We know that the total for the S&P 500 is $1 trillion. $1 trillion. So I get that T right there. If I get that T, just T, sort of like there, whatever. $1 trillion. That's a lot of cash coming in here. Unbelievable. Absolutely incredible. Yeah. So the big boys are putting in big money. This is on top of the fact that the S&P 500s are paying out record dividend dollars as well right now. The dividends that are being paid are at record highs as well. That's showing how much money they're making. It's quite incredible. SoFi 1527 up 18. GameStop 148.28 down 387. We've recovered about $3 of the losses there. Matterport up 6 cents. ME down 13. Spire is off 17 cents. ATIP is only off 4. SmartRent up 22 and Sextera at 12.35 up 27 cents. AMC is up 34. It's recovered a little bit. Robinhood down 56 cents. Bannock Vector's up $6. Home Depot up $5.50. IBM up 53 to 131.16. The Dow up 208. Climbing. Microsoft up 5.25. Apple up 247 to 178.75. Tesla up $36. $1,103. Bed Bath Beyond up 30 cents. BlackBerry up 4. Royal Caribbean down $1.12 to 78.41. Goldman up 233, 387.27. Cisco up $1.06 to 63.34. 4. Amazon down 450, Facebook up 10.29 to 345.50, Google up 18.50 to 29.61. Big moves there. Interesting markets, kids. Really, really interesting markets. American Airlines down 8 cents, a little recovery, but still down on the day. Yeah. Well, there you have it. That's where we're at right here on this market right now. Watching what is going to happen. Let's see here. Thank you, everybody, for all your comments today and questions. Sorry I didn't read all of them as I just went into the rant mode today all day long. How are we doing for thumbs ups here? I haven't even noticed. Oh man, we've got 356, and JC is saying, remember the days when the market was down and all you had to do was toast a bagel, play a Yoko record, move the market. Cheers to 2022, says JC. Member for 8 months. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that, and thanks for your continued support of this channel. It's absolutely fantastic. I do appreciate your loyalty to the cause. Absolutely fabulous. All right, comment. AB, it inaccurate to say stock buybacks is a way for a company to pump their own stock price? Or is it kind of a dirty word phrase, has to be seller for a buyback, hence the dip somewhere? What it used to really be was it was sort of a way for a company to say, hey, look, we have X amount of money, and we've put in, so much money into improving our distribution network, our factories, or our information technology. We've invested in the company to make the company as profitable as possible. We've paid out dividends. We're increasing dividends every year. We're one of the best payers of dividends. But we have this extra cash. We have additional cash that we're not going to put into dividends right now because it's unsustainable, because we don't want to do a one shot. We want to have sustainable dividends that we don't adjust all the time. We just want to go higher and higher, not lower and higher, lower and higher. Hey, we're going to do a stock buyback. We're putting our money where our mouth is. We think our shares are undervalued. We think our company is performing at a much higher level. We're being undervalued compared to the competitors we have in the space we're in. We're going to buy up stock. We're going to buy up to 5% of our company's stock back. We're going to show you how committed we are to our shareholders, that we think our shares are way undervalued. Now, keep in mind, if you buy back 5% of your stock, okay, you don't pay out all the dividends you were going to pay out. Because remember, when you set a dividend, you don't set like, we're paying $1 billion in dividend money out to all the shares. No, we say we're paying a 10-cent a share dividend to the shareholders, multiplied by how many shares there are outstanding. Well, if you take 5% of the stock away by buying it up and canceling the certificates, you don't pay as much money out in dividend money, because those 10 cents a share in dividends now don't get paid out to the shares you just bought back, you see. So if you were planning on spending $1 billion on dividends, but by the time it comes to pay those dividends, you've reduced the share count by 5%. You're only paying out $950 million in dividends, not $1 billion. See what I mean? All of a sudden, you have $50 million in the account that was supposed to go to dividends that doesn't go to dividends, and that money can be used for more stock buybacks. And so now you add that to the stock buyback account with additional cash as you generate it each quarter, and you keep buying up more stock. And so you buy back another 5% of the stock. You decide to have a dividend increase. You decide to say to shareholders, well, last quarter we paid out 10 cents a share in dividends. This quarter, we're going to pay out 11 cents in dividends. Well, guys, the 11 cents in dividends is going out to fewer shares than there used to be out there. It's still about $1 billion you're spending in dividends. You're not increasing the budget. You reduce the number of shares, and so you're raising the number. But you see, for those who are shareholders, they're going, hey, I got a raise. I got a 10% raise. Instead of getting 10 cents on my stock, I'm getting 11 cents as a dividend on my stock. That's 10% more money. Thank you very much. They don't mind the company buying back stock because they're going to do it again. And that means they're only going to pay $950 million out of the $1 billion out, and that $50 million can be rolled into more dividends or more buybacks. Here we go. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. See, the other thing that's happening is the company buys back stock, Okay, they buy back, say, 5 million shares this year, whatever the number is. They buy back 5 million shares, but then they grant the senior officers of the company 1 million shares in stock options. So the company is issuing 1 million shares to the senior management, but they're buying back 5 million shares from the open market. So they're reducing only by 4 million. See? But management, as each year goes by, becomes a bigger shareholder of the company. Because if the management, like the president, the VP, the top guy, they don't sell their stock, they just buy this stuff and they hold it, they end up with more control of the company because shares are being bought back by the corporation from whoever wants to sell it, but insiders aren't selling it. It's only free traders who have free trading stocks selling it. Every year, the stock 5% less outstanding stock, but the insiders portion is growing inside that remainder of the stock. You see what I mean? So eventually, the president has a larger stake in the votes, has a larger dividend share because they're not selling their stock. The company raises its dividend 10% a year every year. The president of the company, the chairman, the director, these guys are all getting dividends on the stock they're not selling, and they're still getting annual options to buy more, get more. They're improving their take-home pay. Their dividend income is growing dramatically every year. They get the salary for showing up, the president, the dividend, and the stock is going up in value because there's fewer of them every year. A win-win-win. This is how these public officers try to sell you on the idea of, well, we're going to do stock buybacks rather than increase the dividend. Rather than buy a competitor or to build a new plant or, create, go into another line of business, we're just going to give you, the shareholders, more value by acquiring stock on the open market and increasing the dividends at the same time. So hang around, stick around, and enjoy the show. That's how they say it. Okay. Interesting. Bruce, as the title asks, will SoFi get its charter this week? That is the question mark. That is the question on this show. Will SoFi get its charter this week? That is the big question because the year end is coming, and wouldn't it be perfect timing if in the last week of the year the company gets its bank charter? Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't it be nice if by the end of the week the stock was 25 to 30 bucks a share and they have their bank charter? Would you like that? I'd like that. I think I'd like that a lot. I think my viewers really would like that a lot. John, hey, Uncle Bruce, sold to open my first GameStop $230 call for $3.25 cash for Jan 21. I love being the bank. I bought GameStop at 150. Come to get it. Thank you, Uncle B. What's wrong with the strategy? Nothing. What's wrong with the strategy? He's selling a contract for Jan 21. And he's bringing in 325 bucks on a contract. Thank you very much for a 230 exercise price. Yeah, I mean, you want to come and get me at 230? He's saying, I'm up here at 230. Come and take me out. That means I get 230, 325, but I'll take the 325 right now as a free gift. Thank you. And you know what? I got to wait. How long? 3 weeks, 4 weeks. That's all I got to wait. I'll take that. If I can bring in 325 every month on this GameStop by writing contracts this far ahead every time I do it, I'm bringing in $325 for 100 shares. You know what? That's 3,600 bucks a year. Thank you very much. 75 bucks a week. That's not bad. That's like working 5 hours at 15 bucks an hour, but that's without deductions. Not bad. Look, if you got 1,000 shares and you did this, you'd be bringing in $3,250 a month. Every month you'd be bringing in just on 1,000 shares. So anything wrong with this? Nothing wrong with this. There's nothing wrong with this. That's a good move. Matterport going sideways until mid-January, mid to late January for investors to settle out of the wash trade, I think. That could have been happening already. They probably sold for a loss when Matterport didn't moon to 30 in November. Just speculation, though. Good idea pick. Bobby, perhaps SoFi is the same boat, but just further along the river. Bobby says, I need to remember to save up for November, December buying this coming year. The other thing about this contract, you're writing this first ever call option. What if the shares do go to $200 a share the next month? This contract will still expire worthless. John Anderson will score 325 bucks in his bank account. He'll keep all of his money. He won't have to buy him back if he doesn't want to. But if the stock goes to 200 from 148, he's $5,200 richer on his 100 shares. And he made $325 on the contract. Thank you very much. Stock goes to 220 by January the 21st. The contract will still die worthless. He keeps all 325, but his stock actually went up. $72 a share. So he's 7,200 richer on the stock and 325 on the contract. He's still laughing. And on the 22nd of January or the next Monday, guess what he's going to do? He's going to write a new contract that might be $50, $60 out of the money, good for a month or so. He'll bring in another $350. He'll do it again. How about that? You got to love that move. I like it. Can be done. Very, very conservatively can be done. Ascent Capital cuts GameStop price target to 23 from 24. There you go. There's a investor that's right on top of it, an analyst that's right on the market. You mentioned you think Rocket Lab is going to hit 20 pretty optimistically. There's some news coming out. I mentioned that I hope it will hit $20 very optimistically. I hope so because I think the news is already out. This company's doing great. They're doing fantastically. They're launching all kinds of satellites. They're back ordered like you cannot believe on launches. Yeah, I think there's some real potential here for the stock, but it's undervalued right now, in my opinion. Terribly undervalued. Sofi 1530 up 21 cents. GameStop down 422 to 147.92. Matterport at 23.47 up 25 cents. ME down 16 cents. Spire down 17. ATIP down 6. SmartRent up 28 and Cyxtera up 29 cents to 12.37. Hit a new all-time high today on Cyxtera. We got the Dow up 209. We got S&P up 44, and we got Nasdaq up 170 right now. Oil up $2 to 75.88. That's where we are right now, guys. S&P sets intraday all-time high as 2021 winds down. So S&P 500 all-time highs right now, and I don't think Nasdaq is far behind it. The Dow is still off about 350 from the all-time high for its all-time high, but that's not that far away anymore. We're up 208 now. So, yeah, looking pretty good here. There you have it, kids. That is today's morning show. On for the 1 hour before we started and 2 hours during the market. I want to say thank you, everybody, for being here today. Thank you, all of you who've joined this channel, rejoined this channel. I love you guys. Thank you so much for that. Those of you who become subscribers, thank you for becoming subscribers. Those of you just casually watching, welcome. Nice to have you here. Let's see if we can make some money today. There's opportunities here to write contracts. There always is. Keep your eyes open and see what it can bring you. I'll be back on this afternoon at 3 o'clock Eastern time, right here for the final hour of trading. We'll be back on. And then later tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern and 8 o'clock Eastern, I'm on Traveling with Bruce. 7 o'clock for just members, 8 o'clock for anybody. And what are we going to talk about? Cruise ships and traveling. Is there stuff to talk about? Yeah, there's stuff to talk about on traveling. Oh, gosh, is there ever? What can I say? Uncle Bruce, I'm not sure if you answered this, but what covered call do you write on Tesla? Do you write a covered call on Tesla? Well, if you're going to write a 1 week contract, you gotta look for like a Friday expiry. You want to be out of the money. You might want to look at 1250s. Maybe the Friday after that, you look at 1300s, 1275, 1300, something like that. You're playing with fire if you're going to write something really close to this stock, because I think this stock has the ability at any time to pop. It's up 38 today at 1105. I'm not sure if 1200 is high enough for this Friday. It could be, but I'd be really careful. If you're going to write an at the money call, like an 1100 or 1150, you'll probably get such a big fat premium that you'll be protected against any kind of a crazy move. That's true. But you've got to really be careful because you're dealing with some serious cash to do an option write on Tesla stock. This is not cheap. These are not cheap contracts to write whatsoever. So I'd be very cautious about that. Hair trigger might be needed. I don't know. Let's take a look here. December 31 expiring this Friday. Let me just take a look here. My options are not, my quotes are not dead accurate, but they're in the neighborhood. Stock's 1103. So an $1,100 contract right now would pay you 32.40 a contract roughly on the bid. An 1150 would pay $15. A 1200 for this Friday would pay $6.70. So, if you're going to write, you can bring in $670 on 100. If you're going to write 1150s, you can bring in, $1,500. You want to write something like 1125, so it's $22 a piece. If you go a week further out, though, can you go a week further out? Maybe you can, maybe you can't. Let me take a look here. Into January now. Excuse me. So a week further out into January now. Let's take a look and see what that will do for you. Can I get that to pop up here? My system won't give it to me. So I can't show you what January is, but you could take a look at January 1200s, 1225s, maybe 1250s. The first or second week of January, you could take a look out there. If you can get a fat premium on those, you might want to go that far. But otherwise, you're dealing with only a $30-something premium for a contract at the money right now that expires this week. That sounds great, but that might not be good enough. I wouldn't dare write anything under 1100. I think we're going to be over 1100 for this week. I think closer to 1200 is likely. So, writing a 1250 for 1500 or a 1240 for maybe 1775, something like that. For the couple of bucks, I'd go 1150. Be further out. 1175s are 1005 to 1025. So, one contract, $1,000 to stay ahead of it might be the idea. And then always knowing that, well, you could always roll. If the shares do want to run on you, you can always roll forward. So if you do write 1100, say at $30, roughly $32.50, so $3,250, you write one, and the stock tomorrow pops to 1120. This 1100 contract will be 20 in the money. It'll likely trade at 40 something dollars. You wait on Wednesday, the stock's at 1140, then the contract's going to be about $50. So you're going to be down $15. Now, that's not the end of the world on a $3,200 contract. You can buy it back and now write a week out or 2 weeks out, $1,200 contract, likely for enough money to cover and pull the string on it. So you could do that. But, the stock going to 1,300 in the next 2 weeks, I don't think so. But 11 to 1,200 to 1,250, 2-3 weeks from now, possible. 1,400, yeah. But yeah, so there you go. There's a couple of thoughts, Nick. That's just off the cuff. Here's where I'm at right now on this. SoFi's going higher, says Pick Home. We're going higher on SoFi, Bruce. Just check it out, buddy. 1528. It's not that high. We got 1541 today. It's what can I say? That's as far as we got. Arico, wow, is it at night time already? Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Guys, I'm going to pack it in and say thank you for being here. Hanging out with yours truly here. Appreciate it very much. Going to be back at 3 this afternoon. We're up 200 on the Dow, 143 on S&P, and 168 on NASDAQ. Okay, not bad. Not bad at all. GameStop at 148.22 and Matterport 23.34 up 12 cents. SoFi 15.28 up 19 cents. Goldman at 3.86 up $1.35. Spire 3.57 down 20 cents. So mega frustrating on Spire and on ATIP. Waiting for the liftoff on these two at any time. We're ready. We're ready to go. Anytime you want to go, we're ready. We'll see what happens. ME down 13, had a nice start, but now down 13 to 730. We are going to get these gyrations here. Remember, we're in the last 3 days of tax loss selling. So there could be last minute moves made by investors for tax loss reasons to just dump out of positions inexplicably out of nowhere. So you have to be prepared for that. On all of that, you have to keep in mind that between now and Friday at the bell, we still have every mutual fund, every pension fund, every ETF, and all kinds of hedge funds all rebalancing their books between now and Friday at the bell for year-end rebalancing. This is the big one. This is the end of the year. And so there could be stupid gyrations where stink bids and stink offers might come through for you folks in some of these cases. So you may want to take advantage of those, just to keep reminding you about stink bids and stink offers. During volatility, they really come in handy. Between now and Friday night, there may be a few examples of that happening to some of you, and I hope you let me know about it. If you get lucky on a stink bid or a stink offer, tell us about it. We love to hear about this. Thank you, guys. Have a nice break, Bruce. Get to enjoy a Kit Kat. Just thinking about the ad. Have a break. Have a Kit Kat. Right on, buddy. Cheers. Thanks, Blair. Appreciate that. You guys rest up as well. Keep an eye on these markets. I'll be back at 3 Eastern for the final hour. We'll close it out together today to see where we're at. Thanks for hanging in with me today. Appreciate it so much. And thanks again for these thumbs ups. We have 381 thumbs ups that have come in today. I'm going to hit some neat emojis to give this market a little more incentive to go higher. This will definitely start it off. I know as you guys kick these in, there will be an out of control run on the market. Here we go. Here we go, baby. Here it is. It's happening. It's happening. It's happening. We're going to run this baby all the way to the moon. The market's going higher. Our stocks are going higher. You guys are just going to get richer and richer and richer. And I congratulate you all. Thank you all for joining me today. And let's see how far this market wants to take it. Okay. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful session for now. I'll see you at 3 o'clock this afternoon. And we'll shut the day down together. I'll talk to you later, guys. Bye for now.